America, a country with some of the most brutal criminals in the world. And fighting back are some of the world's toughest cops. Yeah, he's round the back. It's a job where murder, drug wars and gun crime are part of everyday life. A job where doing your duty could cost you your life.
They're running, they're running, they're running! Run! We got one!
Now I'm joining some of these cops on the front line in the battle against the bad guys. We got him.
Yeah.
Laredo, Texas. This is the real Wild West. Mexico's just a stone's throw across the Rio Grande.
It's bandit country, where drug cartels rule with fear and bloody violence.
The danger is that saying the wrong thing to the wrong person may get him killed.
I want to learn how the crime gangs make billions from this border and experience what it takes to stop them.
You just never know who you're running after, so you just gotta be prepared for anything.
What it's like being a cop on America's front line.
Let's go, King.
I'm gonna saddle up with the law officers who are waging this war on crime. They are the Laredo Police, the Sheriff's Department, and the United States Border Patrol.
Their mission is to protect the border and keep the vicious cartel out of town.
Laredo is in South Texas. It's an international border city with its 4 bridges acting as checkpoints coming into the USA. In the 60s, it was the poorest city in America. And although it's now the second fastest growing city, the average wage is still only £150 a week. Millionaires are created from the legal import-export trade here, but it's the illegal trade that makes billions. The cartels smuggle drugs and people into the USA and don't think twice about killing to protect their profit. The Laredo citizens have been caught in the crossfire. It's straight down to business. I want to see how the police deal with the city's drug problem. At Laredo's police headquarters, the SWAT Special Weapons and Tactics Unit have a search warrant for the family home of a jailed Pistolero gang member.
The tip-off here is that the target house is under surveillance. Right now, they're going over situational information in this room. As soon as we finish with that briefing, we'll be headed right to the scene.
And what do you expect is at the house? What's the rumor?
We understand that there's firearms inside the house.
Okay, let's do it.
The Pistoleros control the gun smuggling in Laredo. The police jailed one of its leaders in 2006, Roy Mendoza.
How you doing?
They now have a warrant to search his family home for drugs and weapons. Mendoza's son is thought to be living there, although he has no previous convictions. I joined the briefing as the teams are being given up-to-date intelligence on their mission.
I don't know if he pays them or not, but he has people hanging around him. He drives a white Lincoln Navigator, but we've also seen a red Toyota.
The surveillance team have done their job. There he is. That's our target, Mendoza Jr. The house has a real connection to a dangerous criminal element. I can feel the team's adrenaline building steadily. This is Joaquin Romero, the leader of the entry team. He's 31 with 8 years service under his belt.
When you get there, you're going to give him a chance to come out, or you're just going in?
No, we're just going hard. Me and my team, we're gonna tear the gate down, and then after that, everybody's gonna make entry through the hole that we make. And then there's no warning.
No warning, just bam.
No, yeah, that gives them a chance to get anything that they might have ready. So this is like a hard entry.
The real thing, man. So he's just told me that they're basically going to go straight in, no negotiations. They've just said I can go in the front line with the boys. So the lads that are going in first, hopefully there won't be any shooting, but if there's any shooting, that's when it's going to happen. So I'm going to go in with them and hope this holds up.
The surveillance team at the location have given the green light, and we're on our way. I'm about to ride in their armoured truck known as the Bearcat.
Just so Gaza knows, Got me pad gazzer, that's what you should have had, mate. In 87. Do you expect gunfire? No training can substitute this, eh?
No, sir.
We take the lead and there's no turning back now.
Heat is unbelievable. I don't know how he's got a balaclava on.
Yeah, it's only like 110 degrees.
The Bearcats' job is to destroy the gates at the front of the location. These boys' job is to storm out and put themselves in the firing line, then make entry into the target house.
Great, it's exciting, real exciting. You can tell the boys are buzzing, they're buzzing. Getting close now. There's a lookout there. He's on the phone. There's the Escalade and the red car up there. We're in it. Go on, boys! Let's go. Go.
Right there, right beside him. To your left.
They're rigging the gates up. They're going to pull the gates up. There it goes. Here goes the gates.
Go, right, go!
There he is. There's one there. There's one there. Oh, the car's going. The car's going. Look. Oh, fuck. We've got the car there. We've got this car down there. They're in. Is he the one we're looking for?
One guy here. One guy right here.
I think he's a lookout. They've secured the car. There's firing going on in here. I had a shot in there. They've got everything covered, all the windows. Shit, the adrenaline's unbelievable. Anyone in there?
I don't know yet. So far, I don't think they found anybody.
Was the guy in the Escalade the target? Was he the target or was he just a lookout? He's the target. So he was already in the car.
Con madre.
¿Está bien?
Sí, ahorita no está.
Kind of surprised as they're popping out of that navigator.
Yeah. Did you grab him? Was it you who wrestled him down? Yeah.
The entry teams are clearing through every room in the house to guarantee there's no surprise shootout.
This was his car. He was in this navigator. When he jumped out to go, they blocked him in there. They jumped out, they hooked up onto the main gate, reversed it out, pulled that out. He's sitting in this truck in the car. So the lookout guy that we passed must have told him. So he was in the car, but we all pulled up. Looks like he's gone to put it in reverse. He's then got out. They see him, get out, he comes running out. The SWAT guy that we was with just went over and just jumped all over him, got him, secured him down. But the car, he grabbed him out, but the car kept going. So the sergeant pulled up behind him and blocked him in and crashed straight into his car. When they arrested him, put the handcuffs on him, he didn't seem too bothered, I'll tell you. Whether they'd moved it already, I don't know. But the adrenaline, I was shaking with the adrenaline. It was great. I'm just glad that they didn't come out shooting, you know. I'd have had to throw my cell phone at them. They didn't give me no guns. They gave me this, though.
I'm in Laredo, Texas, where the cops are trying to prevent Mexican cartels and local gangs from seizing control of the city. The SWAT unit are carrying out a warrant on the home of a jailed gang member. Now it's time to look for drugs and weapons that are allegedly here. The entry teams retreat and let the other cops get on with searching for evidence.
Hey, Vinny, the quintessential poster for every bad guy's house.
Yeah, I got that in my house. This is the scales and the Ziploc bags, look. So I don't really want to touch anything in case people come in.
Yeah.
Everyone's gonna come in and search everything. Okay, none of mine. Really nice house. You know, if he hasn't got a job, this is unbelievable. We can smell. You can smell marijuana in it. He was a target, yeah. Saw his big tattoo there that we saw in the briefing room. Mendoza, that's his name.
I want to see what Mr. Mendoza Jr. is really all about.
You talk English?
Who are you?
From England. I do some movies, yeah. I think you're going to be in the movies now as well.
I've got nothing but a gun. Come on in the 60 seconds?
Yeah, I've done that one, yeah. They've all seen that. You haven't got 60 seconds in your collection.
Yes.
You have? Nice house, man.
Oh, my dad's.
Is it? I like the marble.
Oh, the floor?
Yeah, nice.
My dad said it cost a lot, but...
They've tipped the house upside down, but so far found nothing they can pin on him.
The baggie of marijuana, but it's just...
I can still smell it.
The sniffer dog can only find empty bags, and I spot what the cops are up against.
That's his own surveillance. They're watching the police are watching them. Shows it there, look, he's got 4 different views of the outside. They knew these were coming.
Finally, the guys check his last possible hiding place.
Squad también? No. Chinga madre, nunca habían cuidado entre uno nomás, uno man que todo.
You got more DVDs than me, bro.
Man, look for yours.
I did, there's not there.
Did you find it?
No. I thought you was my pal.
There you are, man. Now I could shake on it. Nice meeting you, man.
This time, the cops haven't found any guns or drugs.
The only shit that I'm gonna say, I already knew everything that they were coming.
Yeah.
It's because they talk too much. Fucking, they say we're gonna go and hit this. They talk too much to their girlfriends. You see, they talk too much to their girlfriends.
Yeah.
Their girlfriends go and tell their daughter. Their daughter goes and tells me, and they talk too many shit. So that's how everybody knows.
This is his dad's house. His dad's in prison as one of the head of the Pistoleros. Pistoleros are probably one of the worst gangs because they're gun-related. They're gun dealers mainly. He knew they were coming, mate, and whatever was here ain't here no more. And there was definitely some stuff on the scales, some white powder on scales in there. But so I had the boys are splitting out now, and it's a real downer. I mean, the adrenaline and everything, you know, shaking with adrenaline earlier on, and now it's, you know, the storm's settled and calmed down. Being here with them, actually in the action like that, it just shows the intensity, you know. I mean, that was like us going out and playing football on a Saturday. They were all buzzing, they were hyped up for it. They'll settle down now and hopefully have a glass of beer, but we'll move on anyway.
On this occasion, Mendoza Jr. is officially charged only with resisting arrest and has to be released before nightfall. His case has yet to go to court. In a small city where word gets around quickly, it's tough for the cops to keep things quiet. Investigator Joe Baeza was the officer who hooked me up with the SWAT unit. He's been fighting crime in Laredo for 10 years.
We will do whatever it takes to maintain stability and safety in our community and also for the rest of the United States. The buck definitely stops here.
Joe is patrolling one of Laredo's busiest entry points from Mexico into the USA, the World Trade Bridge.
The cartels, the drug pushers, they all use this great veil, this great forest of truck traffic to hide their narcotics going into the United States. If we rest, they win, and people's lives are changed because of it.
Around $10 million worth of drugs cross over the 4 bridges in Laredo every day. It's a constant battle and a massive task for a small force. It calls for complete dedication.
The cost at times is the ultimate sacrifice. You have to be a little crazy to be in this work. I would say that we have a take no prisoners attitude, but that's exactly contradictory to what we do here. We take as many prisoners as possible. the overall majority of all the officers out on patrol all have long rifles. They carry AR-15s, M16s, Colt 9mm submachine guns, and they're very efficiently and thoroughly trained to use those firearms.
The drug cartels and narco-terrorists are killing at will over the border in Mexico.
There's a war of terror being waged across, where if you behead 2 people, well, the next guy has to come back and behead 4.
This deadly crime wave is so out of control that the Mexican government has had to call in the army to protect its people.
Criminals never will take control of the country.
In Texas, anyone can buy a gun, but in Mexico, it's against the law. So guns are trafficked one way and drugs and people the other. $11 million worth of cocaine and 3 tons of marijuana was seized in just one weekend. It's all-out slaughter in Mexico. The cops here in Laredo fight to prevent that lawlessness from coming into the USA. I'm going on patrol with hotshot cop Jesse Jimenez from the Sheriff's Department to discover how all the trafficking works.
Fits you just fine.
Okay.
We're patrolling Route 83. It runs parallel with the Mexican border for 150 miles. It's an infamous smuggling highway.
A couple of months ago, we received some information that they were storing 20 tons of marijuana on the Mexican side, ready to get crossed.
20 tons.
Ready to cross. Vinny, these guys will try anything in every which way to smuggle their narcotics, and they always end up getting caught. Sooner or later, they'll end up getting caught. We'll definitely get something tonight. We'll definitely get something tonight. 7-3, kind of be 10-8. Check that, bro.
We're soon called as backup to another incident just up the highway. 2 passengers and a driver have been stopped. The officers are checking their stories as we arrive on the scene.
Do they know the driver?
They claim they do. They claim that they've known the driver for a long time.
They got no ID on them?
I don't believe so, or Mexican ID. I know that they got conflicting stories. Usually that's a good indicator of something that's going on illegally.
Jess is saying these 2 are illegal.
They're going to be taken into custody by Border Patrol right now. They have no resident alien cards or paperwork to be here in the U.S. legally.
Laredo is a honeypot for illegal activity. By constantly watching the highways, the officers try to tackle the problem as soon as it reaches the American soil. It's 8:30 at night and still about 100 degrees. But there's no stopping now for Jesse. He's just got the call for a raid on a suspected drug stash house. All the officers are gathering at a nearby parking lot, and they wait for the order to move in.
Our CI just made contact with a target house. Confidential informant just made contact, so we're gonna verify to see if the narcotics is still in the house so we can go and have consent to search.
It's confirmed. 2 suspects have been spotted at the target house, and the boys roll out immediately to make the arrest.
We're here already. Let's dismount. Let's go.
As soon as the cops arrive, the suspects burst out of the target house and make a run for it.
They're running! They're running! They're running! They're running! They're running! Run! Watch out! Watch out! Watch out! Watch out! They're running towards the riverbank. Running towards the riverbanks.
The Mexican border means freedom for the suspects, and it's just 2 miles away.
You went in here. Check underneath the trailer. You got him? Where's he at? Where's he at? He's underneath the bed. Mason! 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 Mason!
Make some. Yellow. We got one. ¿Dónde está la camisa blanca? Get him up. Let's go.
This first man is led away for questioning when a neighbour gives Jesse the wink that our other suspect might be nearby.
Still searching for the other subject. The subject was wearing a white shirt, white t-shirt with a...
With the border so close, the subject has nothing to gain by giving himself up, but everything to gain if he makes it across the river.
There's Marvin. Here. The creek is about maybe 2 miles from here. Yeah, that's probably why they thought about it and said, you might as well try to hide. You don't know if he's behind the wall waiting for you with a gun in hand and, you know, ready to shoot at you whenever you come around the corner. So you should always keep your weapon raised.
The other officers couldn't find any drugs in the location. The man under arrest is an illegal Mexican immigrant. He will be sent straight back to Mexico.
Running after somebody, it's a adrenaline rush. You don't know really who you're running after. You can be running after one of the drug cartels or one of the members or a hitman or somebody that just committed murder. I mean, you just never know who you're running after, so you just got to be prepared for anything.
Policing here means dealing with the constant threat of armed criminals. The heat can be stupefying, but that threat keeps the cops alert at all times. I'm on the US border with Mexico. Even at sunset here on the Rio Grande, it's around 100 degrees Fahrenheit. I've come to the city of Laredo to learn how the police are tackling border crime here. With drugs and illegal immigrants streaming over the border every day, it's a full-on task. I'm now out on the night patrol with Deputy David Nemke. We've just pulled a guy over for alleged drunk driving, but he's got more trouble in store.
Might be a little bit of cocaine on the seat.
Yeah. Could be coke on the seat. I think it's a drunk driver. Got Budweiser in there on the side there, and there's a box of Budweisers in the back there as well. If it's coke, what happens?
You just make sure it matches that. It should match pink over blue like that, and that means it's positive. So, he's going to jail.
Drugs that are smuggled across the border end up in stash houses. And Deputy Jesse Jimenez is on the scene when one's busted in East Laredo. After a surveillance team identified the target, it was Jesse who arrested him by tackling him in his own backyard.
We discovered some 5 kilos of cocaine, a little bit of marijuana.
The undercover work has led cops to a big score. These drugs won't be making it to any street dealers.
That is cocaine. Each one of these squares is approximately 2.2 pounds, kilo of cocaine. Street value? Here in Laredo, it's about 15,000 a kilo, and upstate can be, or up north, in the northern states can be anywhere from 30 to 45,000 a kilo. Yeah, then on top of the pantry. Usually they've been sent out from cartels in Mexico. That is marijuana. That's marijuana. You're looking at roughly maybe 7 to 10 pounds of marijuana. That was found up in the attic.
The word is there might be 5 more kilos in the house, so the boys continue the search. While Jesse heads into the attic, Captain Ted Garcia investigates a child's bedroom.
We found a .22 caliber rifle with a scope. What we look for are the semi-automatic and the handguns. And some of those either go into Mexico or they're used for local crimes, so that's what we try to seize.
Just verifying to see if it's cocaine.
No joy with the extra stash, so Jesse bags up the evidence.
I'm gonna take it back to and test those packages, see if I test positive for narcotics. Yeah, it definitely feels good. Taking drugs off the street feels good.
Laredo is being flooded with the Mexican cartel's drug loads. I want to find out who's working for these cartels. It's time to meet some of these gang members face to face. I'm off to Laredo's top security jail. It's full to the brim with gang members, smugglers, and killers.
Hopefully we're going to go in and speak to one of the inmates, find out what he's done and all that stuff, you know, just have a chat with him. But it's a little bit off the cuff at the moment, so we'll see. Just hope he don't take me as a hostage after. That's you know.
Commander Juan Hernandez is in charge of this jail. He's going to introduce me to the prisoners. But first, I want to know what I'm up against.
What are the dangers, then?
Well, the dangers is that saying the wrong thing to the wrong person may get him killed.
Yeah.
The danger to you may be that that they're in jail for murder and things like that, and you know, putting a feather in their cap by you know, striking a known person may be something that they won't think twice about. You okay?
Yeah.
Let's go out there.
He's scary enough, I don't like the others.
It's time to meet my first inmate. He's been in prison before. This time, it's on drug charges. I feel tense. Any jail can be explosive, and I don't want to say anything that oversteps the line.
All right. How long have you been here in the prison?
Pues yo tengo ya como unos 20 años encerrado.
Got about 20 years in jail.
Really? When you go out, the gang's on the outside, you have to go back into that gang? You can't get out of that? Is it?
I can answer that question.
Okay, okay. What are the dangers out there for these young lads? Let's presume that one guy was into drugs, running drugs or...
That's the worst thing you can do, get involved in drugs and smuggling and all that, they ain't no good. They're not gonna take you nowhere over here or dying, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. What would he have to do on the street for them to, whoever it is, to come, put them in the cemetery? What sort of things?
I don't know, maybe you rip them off or you make a bad deal. You never know, it's hard to say that. It's hard to answer that. Think and say, oh, this guy may rip me off or this guy maybe do something wrong. They got stopped and they put him over and they got busted and you got pissed off so you put a hit on it. Or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, thanks a lot, man. And good luck with everything.
So getting busted by the cops could easily mean someone putting a hit on you.
This is the area where when the hit is going down,
this is where it
goes down.
Yeah.
See, the cartels belong to Mexico. These gangs are homegrown. They belong here in this region. This is an area, the home of the Hermandad de Pistoleros Latinos. It's a specific gang that belongs here in this area. This is their birthplace. The Mexican mafia has a strong area here in the border.
Yeah.
And so they control drugs along the border here. The sale of drugs and collecting of taxes, to use a word, on other people's sale of drugs.
Yeah.
And so the cartels are reaching out to these people because there's already a structure in place and utilizing them and their structure to get whatever business they want to accomplish, either drugs on this side or eliminate targets.
I'm now going to meet someone who has carried out these orders. The commanders told me that the man I'm going to meet has committed murder for the cartels.
How you doing? How long have you got to do?
Right now?
Yeah.
How much time I'm gonna do? 55 here.
55?
55.
I'm not going to ask why. Man.
Yeah, they gave me 55 years and 50 running confirmed.
How long have you done?
Right now, since November 2007.
2007,
Yeah.
2 years.
Yeah, going 2 years.
Do they mean anything, your tattoos?
So with tattoos?
Yeah.
Only this one.
What does this one mean?
And again, the Texas Syndicate.
That's your gang?
Yeah.
Are you everybody in that? Is everybody in the same gang?
No, it's not just friends.
Just friends?
Yeah, they gotta put the same people in the same tank.
Oh, they have to?
Yeah.
Oh, because you don't, you'd be...
No, we don't be, we're pissed and everything, but they just for their own reasons, people. So they separate everybody.
Yeah. Well, wish you all the best, man.
All right.
What would he get paid?
Anything from 10,000 to 50,000, a Mercedes-Benz, or depending on the target.
Yeah. So who are the cartel? Are they guys like you in suits and ties?
No.
Or they like him?
The criminals are people like him.
Are they? And is the cartel run by fear?
It is fear. Among the members and among the people that they do business with. They're about bottom line.
The Mexican mafia are probably the toughest, but the pistoleros, they're the gun boys. They're actually the gun runners. But we were just talking in there, and he said the meanest of the mean, the baddest of the bad of this big area are in here, under his watchful eye. The Rio Grande River is the thin line that keeps the bloody chaos of Mexico out of America. And so even the river is a battleground in the fight against the gangs. I want to find out how the battle is fought, so I'm heading to the US Border Patrol's HQ.
You can see the river there. They basically aim at certain portions of the river where people cross.
Yeah.
And it could be undocumented migrants, it could be obviously smugglers of drugs. From the sensor to the tower and then to them here. And then they'll dispatch the agents, for example, whatever sensor it is out on the ground.
Morning, U.S. Border Patrol Communications. Eastman, can I help you?
I want to see this action for myself. So I'm back out on the prowl, this time with Nick Mazatix, a supervisory Border Patrol agent.
A lot of times we get call-outs from the cameras. Hey, they're seeing some people crossing. You know, we'll take off, you know, try to intercept them, try to push them back. You know, we have apprehended marijuana loads here, so, and even in the day, so, you know, anything can happen.
The Rio Grande runs the length of the US-Mexico border for about 750 miles. Everything that's smuggled into Texas has to come across the river. This is the international dividing line. With Laredo's 4 city bridges, all under checkpoint surveillance, some people take on the river itself. The murky green water is just yards wide in places, and in the dry season, it's barely waist deep.
You know, a lot of these people are from the interior of Mexico, and they do not know how to swim. You know, so they're hanging on to some old inner tube a smuggler gave them, and that's their, you know, their lifeline, basically.
So there'll be points where they come and they can go to the smuggler and he'll say, right, you go on this certain time.
And of course, these smugglers have, you know, scouts on the U.S. side, scouts on the Mexican side, you know, on cell phones and vehicles, you know, trying to pinpoint where we're at, where the ground units are at. You know, they're looking for their opportunity, their opening, you know, to try to cross. That's the M4 carbine with the 223 round. That is an FN 303 less lethal launcher. It launches as a less lethal 68 caliber projectile that just kind of uses like an impact force. And that's been pretty effective for us dealing with the rocking incidents. Usually it's the smugglers that are throwing the rocks, not necessarily the, you know, the aliens coming across.
Not too long after finishing up on the river, I catch a sight of some of the smugglers myself.
On the camera, they just saw one swim across.
Look, there's a couple over the other side. You see them? See him over there? Here he is. Here he is. Two of them.
Yeah.
Swim back. They're going to swim back?
Yeah, they're going to swim back.
He's just here. He's hiding. You can just see him through the bushes. See him? There's a couple of them. See him hiding in the bushes. They're laughing. Just yards upstream, the Border Patrol agents have caught two women trying to cross illegally into America. But the men that smuggled them over are tantalizingly out of reach. And they know it. Here they go. There. They've got a rubber ring. Unbelievable. Just hiding in the brush. I'm in Laredo, Texas. I'm finding out how the cops police a city riddled with gang-related border crime. The US Border Patrol sees truckloads of contraband here every month, and I want to see some of this evidence for myself. This is Armando Romo. He's a veteran of 15 years in the Sheriff's Department, and he is responsible for a lot of the seizures I'm about to see.
And on this road, what we usually have, we have large quantities of marijuana. Large quantities of marijuana.
We're on the way to the Sheriff's storage facility. This is where they keep all their evidence locked up.
We see those two freights over there, they're all full of dope.
Are they?
Yeah.
What street value's in one of those?
A couple of million in each one.
Wow.
Or maybe even more.
I want to see what the cartels are actually prepared to kill for.
Man, I can smell them.
Whoa! Most dope I'll ever see in my life, I should think. Oh, smells, doesn't it? That evidence is about to be destroyed before it's had the chance to reach the marketplace of Middle America. Inside are their most recent loads.
That's our latest seizure they had the guys at. 1,384 pounds of hot marijuana.
Oh, that's
weed.
That's weed, look at that. Yeah. How much is that worth?
Well, it's $506 a pound. I'll tell you, I gotta talk to her. Here it is.
Wow. Look at that.
That's what these boys die for.
They die for it, huh?
About $650,000.
$1,000 right there.
$600,000. Fucking hell. I don't like that shit. It's in cities like this where people die trying to profit from feeding America's drug demand. This is the last line of defense. It's the Laredo border checkpoint, 29 miles north of the city, on the Interstate 35. It's the only major highway traveling north from the Tex-Mex border. The volume of smuggling going upstate here is so high and the rewards are so great. The cops can never stop everyone. They can only make it as tough as possible. This is the second checkpoint coming in, and this is where if they get through the first one, you know, over the bridge, they come in here, and it's where they seem to capture most of the stuff. We've only been here 10 minutes, and already we've got some action. There's a truck been pulled over, K9 alert, so they've pulled the truck over. It could be anything from the driver having a joint to people in the back or $1 million worth of marijuana, so we'll just see. You can definitely smell marijuana in there. As soon as he opened that door, I could smell it.
The dog alert right here underneath the bunk bed. So we see a couple of indicators, like all the screws been tampered. They removed these screws for some reason.
Yeah, but they've got this machine here, and they just drive it up the side and it scans it.
Shows anything that shouldn't be in there.
Each one of these machines cost $1.2 million, and Laredo was the first in the country to get one.
Well, what we do is scan the whole truck. You can see the spare tire.
Yep.
That's the rim and the tire.
Yep.
There's nothing in there. We're done.
No big haul this time, and the driver is allowed through the checkpoint. No stopping now till Dallas.
With them dogs and that, I'd say the chances of getting through are very minimal. I wouldn't try it.
That night, I'm on my final patrol with Romo. There's been a report of a dead body found on a bridge. We're only a few miles from the final border checkpoint I visited on the Interstate 35.
Oh my God, look. Fuck. See the body on there, look. Jesus.
Okay. Here they go right here. As you can see, there's a shoe there. Look,
Yeah.
If you look down.
Look at the blood over there.
Yeah, there's the body right there.
Oh my God.
He was hit by the train.
Jesus. All I could see was a big mass of blood and flesh. You can actually smell the blood. But you can smell the blood. It's that, you know, it's only happened 15 minutes ago. What they do, they hide in the brush because the checkpoint's down here. Then what they do, the train wakes them up, and they believe if they sleep near the tracks here, the rattlesnakes won't get them. So that's why they're here. Because what they do then, the train comes through slowly, they then wake up, they hop on it, and then they get straight through the barrier into America. He said it happens all the time.
It's a chilling way to end what has been for me a mind-blowing visit to Laredo. Seeing this broken body close up is a tragic and graphic reminder of the terrible human cost that's paid out on this battleground border.
It's unreal, man. Unreal.
It's a city where the poorer population are at the mercy of the billion-dollar cartels. The highways are awash with drugs, and smuggling is an all-too-easy option. Being a cop here is not just about seizing contraband and catching illegal immigrants. It's about sheer dedication and the ability to stay focused in the face of a deadly enemy. Which makes these guys amongst America's toughest cops.
America, a country with some of the most brutal criminals in the world. And fighting back are some of the world's toughest cops. Yeah, he's round the back. It's a job where murder, drug wars and gun crime are part of everyday life.
Come here.
A job where doing your duty could cost you your life.
They're running. We got one.
Now I'm joining some of these cops on the front line in the battle against the bad guys. We got him.
Yeah.
Baltimore, Maryland, AKA Bodymore, Murderland.
On the east coast of the USA, this former industrial port city has been labelled the murder capital of America. Downtown, it's all shiny offices and tourist attractions. But head away from the waterfront and it's a different story. Every week, there are nearly 200 violent crimes and 5 murders. 85% of all homicides here are committed with guns. It's a city with a massive drug problem where 1 in 10 people is an addict.
One is coming. Stop. Ho. You have anything on you that I should know about?
If we do, we're gonna find it anyway, so it won't make it even harder.
We just got a high-ranking officer call for backup.
I went to my cell and I looked in the mirror, and you know what I said to myself? This shit is not working.
Now the police are fighting back. They're mobilising to wage war on the gun-wielding bad guys, and I'm going with them on the city's meanest streets.
It's out of control down there. It's off the hook in Baltimore.
It's a shame. 16 years old.
I'll be kitted out and trained before going out on patrol with Baltimore's finest. I'll meet the elite attack cops of SWAT and then roll with the Violent Crimes Impact Division. I want to know why this town is being so overrun by drugs and guns, and just what the police have to do to keep law and order here. And I reckon the best place to start is at the very top, with Commissioner of Police Frederick Bielfeld. He has abandoned a zero-tolerance policy in favour of targeting the worst criminals out there.
50% of all the people charged with murder in this city every year had prior gun offenses. Bad guys with guns, they get out of jail, you know what they do? They get guns again.
Yeah. So primarily, it's the guns you're going after.
It really is about the guns, because again, what can everyone agree on? Cops agree that guns are important. Cops get that. And the community gets that. Anywhere you go, people understand bad guys with guns represent a threat to all of us.
In Britain, they said, that's it, ban handguns. Is that not what you need to do here?
It's like trying to count grains of sand on a beach. 30,000 in a good year. In a good year, we'll seize 4,000 guns. 4,000. They sold 30,000.
Yeah.
30,000. You'll never keep up. You can't even keep up with what they sold, let alone what they sell in Pennsylvania and Virginia and Ohio.
See, this
and
is the
all
problem.
These states coming in here.
If you ban it here, they can still bring them in from outside.
Yeah, sure. There are prison cells full of guys for drugs. We lock up drug dealers by the bushel basketful. I'll trade them for a guy with a gun.
I've heard the theory, but now I'm going to see it in practice. Just how do the police decide what's important and what's not? On the front line of this fight is Detective Donnie Moses. He has spent the last 15 years combating the guns and dealers.
When people start shooting, you know, instead of running away from the gunshots, we run to it. And most times, I would say, we're excited to run to the gunshots.
He's given me the inside track on what it's like to be a regular patrol in the city. Today, Donnie's out in the Western District with Officer David White. It's an infamous area of the city with high crime figures and mass unemployment. The summer days are long and hot here, and trouble comes thick and fast.
It's supposed to be a guy inside the house tearing the house up, wrecking the house, and he has a knife with him.
The officers are on their way to a domestic disturbance where a young man is threatening his parents. Statewide this year alone, there have been 42 fatal shootings within family homes.
Stay on my hip, on my hip.
The young man is in the kitchen and still arguing when things really kick off.
Bring him down to his face, on his stomach, on his stomach. On his stomach, on his stomach. No. Stop. All right,
Cops can't calm him down, but their armour includes a non-lethal weapon.
Go. Back up.
Stop him, Crown.
Hit him.
All right, you turn over.
Turn over.
They use a taser to stun the suspect. It shoots 2 hot wires into the man's flesh, sending a 50,000-volt charge through his body. It will take the suspect several minutes to recover.
In the first place, you wouldn't go through this.
Although it looks like rough justice, using a taser has brought the problem under control and allows the officer to secure the young man safely.
All right, 35, we have the individual in custody. No officers injured.
Young man apparently was giving his family members a problem.
When we tried to gain control of him, tried to talk him out of his rage, it didn't appear to work. Ultimately, we had to tase him. Less than lethal use of force. Once we tased him, we handcuffed him, it's over. The ambulance came and checked the individual out to make sure that he didn't have any life-threatening injuries. Then from there, right now, we're going to transport him to probably the local hospital. They have to take the prongs that were discharged from the taser. They have to take that out of his back and check his vitals. And then from there, he's going to be sent over to our centralized booking. That's where we process all prisoners. He's going to be charged with assault on police officers.
According to the makers, 170,000 suspects are tasered across the US every year. As a non-lethal response and an alternative to the gun, it's a no-brainer for the cops. By the looks of things, before I can go out on the streets of the city, I'm going to need some serious coaching in quick thinking and instant response. So here we are at the Baltimore Police Firearms Training Facility. They're going to teach me how to use their guns. Hopefully I won't be getting involved with all that, but they're just going to show me, how to deal with, hostile problems on the street. I'll be using a simulator, which plays out shootout scenarios. It's a bit like a video game which the cops use to sharpen up their shooting skills.
This is a firearms training system, and we bring recruits, we bring our officers in here. Basically the same kind of weapon that we carry on the streets. It's a Glock Model 22, 40 caliber, and you just aim and shoot.
Well, he's not getting back up, is he?
You ever shoot?
Yep.
Good. Let me see you do it. Yeah, you need some training.
In the movies, even if you miss them, they go down,
Yeah, movies. The movies is the worst thing we can see. I hate movies. And we'll show you.
Now I've
here
had a
as soon as we get it.
practice,
I'm ready.
it's my turn to take out the bad guys.
What do you shoot a dog for? The machine stopped us saying you're not supposed to shoot the dog. Secondly, that dog's on a leash. That dog can't hurt you.
Right, okay.
Okay, so we'll continue.
We're gonna take care of you.
She got you. See the red border around the screen? He'll replay. Let's see if you did hit her. You didn't see her draw that gun, did you?
Nah, not at all.
Watch.
Yeah.
Mister. You got her. That's a non-incapacitating hit, though. That means she's not going to go down. And then she got you, and it's over.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
a
quick.
tricky one there right there. You're so focused on him.
Yeah, I was focused on him.
Most police survive shootings are over in 5 seconds, 3 to 5 seconds. It's boom, boom, and that's it. It's over.
Yeah.
Yep.
It does show how quickly you've got to react. And I was watching the guy. He moves out the way, but she pulls the gun out of his back, and she shot the officer and shot me. But it's although it's on a screen, and it's like a game. There you go. That's
a real life scenario.
That's a real life scenario, isn't it? Just shows what these guys have to deal with. I've only been in Baltimore for 24 hours, and I've already seen that the police here have no time to mess around. Decisions must be instant, and they are the difference between a good outcome and a bad one. Today I'm going on patrol with officers of the Southwestern District. Of the 9 districts that make up the city, it's one of the most dangerous and drug-ridden. I need to get involved in the action so I can really understand what goes on out on the streets. I arrived just in time for afternoon roll call. We are briefed and assigned our patrols for the day. I don't have a clue what to expect, but I'm a bit nervous after hearing what's gone on the night before. Last night there was a shooting, 4 people got shot last night, so we'll see how it goes. The only thing I'm a bit apprehensive about is if we get in a car chase. So we buckle up and away we go, I should think. With almost 4,000 assaults on officers every year in the state, body armour is absolutely essential for all cops in the field. I've been in a few cop cars back home, but this is the first time I've ridden shotgun. I'm riding with officers Troy Harris and Tim Hefner through some of the toughest streets in the city. As a rule, a patrol unit will police their local area and call in backup specialist units as and when they're needed. We've been on patrol for just half an hour and it's already kicking off.
Oh, fine.
Yeah.
Just call 911.
Yeah, just sit tight for me, fellas. Right there.
I just saw this guy grab him and just smash him.
Yes.
What's going on?
I'm the father. I'm the father. He's got a warrant on him in Baltimore County for breaking into my business. Today, he decided to break in my house, and he stole my truck, a $50,000 truck.
You have anything on you that I should know about?
You got a name?
Oh, man, if you do, we're going to find it anyway, so it won't make it even hard.
Why are you taking your dad's truck?
I have a heroin addiction.
He's jacked out of his head. They're saying that he's wanted in another county.
In Essex, I heard that.
And here, actually, what the guys are saying is he hasn't actually done anything here to arrest him for.
He stole from my house today. I understand it's in Hartford County, though. There's no way you can detain him.
It seems to me that what the kid needs is help, but his dad is intent on getting him locked up. I want to know why he feels that jail is the only way to sort his son out.
You know, jail's no good for him. He's got all them things. He's gonna, he's gonna die.
Look, I know it, man. It's my kid. It breaks my heart. It breaks my heart to have to put him in jail. But you know what? At least I know where he is and he's safe.
Got a chance.
He's got a chance in jail. He don't have a chance.
He don't. I tried telling him before.
Are them places not strong enough then to, to get him over it?
The rehabs and all, unless he wants it. Unless,
Yeah,
they ain't no good unless he's ready.
Is he saying, yeah, he's ready now, but then when you get him there,
He's
you're
saying he's
worried
ready because he's got
He's in
cops,
hot water, right.
15 cops around.
You think he'll change his mind when he gets up there?
When the dope wears off, he'll change his mind.
Yeah. Will he?
Good-hearted kid, but you know what? The drugs are killing him.
This
They're
is
killing him. And it's such a shame.
Yeah,
And you know what? It's out of control down there. It's off the hook in Baltimore. You picked the right place to come find the violence. It's out of control.
What, the drugs or the violence? What?
The violence and the drugs. The violence comes with the drugs.
Is it easy to get? Is that
It's
the
easy
problem?
to get drugs in here around here, yeah, but it's dangerous. I mean, because especially you pull out a wad of money like that knucklehead had in his pocket. They say, yeah, just go around the corner. They'll shoot him for the money instead of just selling him the dope. It's easier for him.
You don't seem a bad guy. You just need some help,
I appreciate your help, but they're going to release me.
You're a young man, 21. You got life in front of you,
I just got that fear of being dope sick, so that's why
But it doesn't last forever, man. It doesn't last forever. You put a couple of months in and then, see where it goes from there, One step at a time, one day at a time, man.
With no grounds to hold the young man, the officers encourage his dad to take care of him and get some help.
They're going to release you to me. I'm putting you in Bill's truck and you ain't getting out because we're locking you in the back.
I'm sick of living like this.
Okay, I understand you're sick of living like this, but every time I try to get you help, you don't want it.
The father now says he simply wants to take his son to the nearest hospital, hopefully to give him some treatment for his addiction. His son says he'll be happy to do that, and that's where we are now.
Hopefully he'll go and get him some treatment. That would be a big plus out of all this.
Well, we've dubbed Vinnie Hawkeyes now. The investigation leads to a recovered vehicle. Also leads to a young man who said he was out here who's addicted to drugs, and he was actually out here because he wanted to cop some drugs. So a lot of things transpired simply off of Vinnie. So we appreciate the work on that, Chief. Thanks.
Drug-related offences are directly linked to over 2/3 of all crime in the city. Cases like this are all too common, and the police are overrun with incidents. Back on board with Troy and Tim, it's not long before we're called into action again. It's my first high-speed ride through the streets of Baltimore, and it's fast and furious.
We got Signal 13 officer needing assistance. We're trying to find a location, the whereabouts of the officer. I'm not quite sure what the initiated the call.
At the scene, 3 suspects are in handcuffs already.
You got ID on you, man?
Oh, square right there.
Fuck.
And they got
Suspected at this point, crack cocaine.
Crack cocaine. All suspected crack cocaine.
Yeah.
The driver and passenger of the Jeep Cherokee were delivering narcotics. We interrupted the narcotics deal, the purchase. We watched the exchange. We blocked the vehicle in.
How much do you think's their street value?
A couple thousand at least, easily.
These may be connected to the kid that we saw earlier on. In the state that he's in, why would you feel sorry for these, you know, distributing it? It's their choice. You're not going to stop it.
Yeah. Even for a first-time offender, the punishment can be tough. Jail terms can be anything from 10 to 40 years, depending on the amount. But even that doesn't deter the pushers. Many of them deal again when they're released. It's the end of our shift, and I've witnessed the drug problem here firsthand. We head back in, and I've got plenty to think about on the way. Across town, Detective Donnie Moses is on night patrol with Officer Alan Keats. After the heat of the day, the cool of the evening brings a darker side of the city onto the streets.
We just got a high-ranking officer called for backup. So we're on our way to that location. I mean, at this time, we don't know what's going on, but it sounded pretty urgent, so we're on our way there now.
As Donnie and Alan get to the location, the place is lit up with blue lights and an arrest is in progress.
Hey, Lieutenant. This is the gun that they got off the suspect. Like I said, they got out on a guy they suspected to be armed. When they jumped out, he took off running. He was quickly apprehended. The gun was recovered. We're not gonna touch it, but you can see it is loaded. Smith & Wesson with 9mm, with at least 6 rounds.
This was a good gun. It's definitely a good grab off the street. So that's great work. Yep, great work.
Any gun off the street is a good result for the cops. But as they get back in their car, a report comes in of a shooting nearby.
We got called for discharging of firearms in an alley. We take all of those serious because a lot of times you'll get a call for discharging of firearms and you'll actually find that you have a victim. So we're gonna get there. This area, they got a store right there, stores across the street, it is empty. Chances are there was discharging around here and everybody who was here vacated the scene. Back in the alley, it either sounded like fireworks or someone. There we go.
Even though they're armed, it's an extremely dangerous situation for Donnie and Alan. Anyone could be waiting in the shadows. Although it's dark, they still have to make certain of their targets. Without support, they are much more vulnerable to attack.
You never know when you're coming into an alley. You might scare them, and their knee-jerk reaction is to fire at you, even though they may have been protecting themselves to somebody else that was shooting. But nonetheless, you got to be prepared to protect yourself.
We have 2 calls pending sector 1.
So the other unit that showed up on scene, they said that it was just fireworks, firecrackers. Not uncommon, you know, 4th of July is right around the corner.
Both officers are grateful that it's just a false alarm and that they didn't have to engage anyone tonight.
Even though you may not necessarily be in danger at the moment, you just never know when something could pop off.
But it's not the last incident of Donnie and Alan's shift, and the next call is very real.
Well, at this point, we don't know much. The call has only been out for 5 minutes. Detectives hadn't had a chance to get on the scene yet. to evaluate what's happened or the seriousness of it. But we know somebody's been shot, we believe as a result of an armed carjacking. So the night is heating up.
Officers and medics are already interviewing and attending a man who has been shot in the buttocks. Another man has been rushed to the emergency room at the local hospital with a gunshot wound to the face.
They were in the area, probably about a block over from where we are now, driving a BMW when at least one suspect approached, ordered him out of the car, fired the weapons.
Neither of the two men are suffering from life-threatening injuries.
He's
Detectives are searching the location for any clues.
So right now what we're doing is we're up here at the scene of the shooting, just protecting the crime scene. You know, everything inside this tape, you know, could be evidence, has to be preserved in its current form and where it's at. Right now, that's our main priority. We now have a medic coming for this victim.
It's this swift response that enables the area to be locked down and any information to be gathered as quickly as possible. The slower the response, the less likely it is that the criminals will be found.
We got two different stories from both victims. They said they were carjacked in the area, but we don't know yet. Detectives are still investigating, trying to get to the bottom of it. So only time will tell. It's just about shift change. We're gonna head back to the Eastern District now, so we can let Alan get home and
Alan's happy about that.
Get back. I can get to my family.
The threat of guns is a fact of life in Baltimore and never far from the policeman's thoughts. So just who do these guys call when they need serious backup? I've been on patrol in Baltimore for just one day and witnessed the extent of the city's crime problem. It's everywhere. Now I need to find out just what the police have got to fight this war that looks unwinnable. I pay a visit to the police rifle range to meet the Special Weapons and Tactics team. That's SWAT to you and me. These boys are at the top of the cop tree, trained to the max and armed to the teeth. They're sent in as a last resort when a full-on response with max firepower is needed.
That was impressive. Okay. Yeah, well done, guys.
Officer Zach Wine shows me through some of their arsenal.
Standard handgun, 40 caliber. We carry our handgun. We have lights on the front. This is a 20-inch shotgun. If you hold them up.
20 gauge?
20-inch.
Yeah.
They're all 12 gauges, but you can see by the barrel length that you can shoot a little further, a little more distance with this. But as far as like an entry weapon, this is a 14-inch. You see how much shorter it is? So when you're going in a house, it's much easier to swing through hallways, but it's going to spread a lot quicker. This is a G36. It fires 223 rounds. There's the magazine for it. Holds 30. It's
plastic, huh? Great sound, that, huh?
You're moving spot to spot.
I think this is where the training comes in. You know, like in soccer, they say, how come David Beckham's so good at free kicks, you know, and he'll tell you, practice, practice, practice. Here we go. I can see the grouping from here, unbelievable. Good grouping.
Thanks.
I'd have you on my side.
These lads are obviously crack shots, but just how good are they, and what does it take to be a member of SWAT?
What'd you say?
What your score was?
Yeah, I got 100, but I'd lie and say it was 100 anyway if the camera was on. It was 100. I got them all in.
What would happen if you got, say, a low score? Would you have to...
A 90 is the lowest score. Yeah. to qualify like a normal police department. Now, they don't use these weapons, but with a normal handgun score, they can score a 70 and still carry a weapon. We can't score any less than a 90 and be on the SWAT team.
Next up, it's my turn, and the Sarge sorts me out with some proper hardware.
Just take this over your left shoulder and around your head. There you go. Just like that, okay? And then I'm sure you've handled a weapon before, so just like that. You have your aim point here.
Yeah.
One click down, semi-automatic. So you pull the trigger, it'll just fire one round.
Right.
Both click down, so if you go all the way down,
yeah.
If you pull the trigger, you hold the trigger back, it'll discharge until you're out of ammo.
Okay.
Okay? Keep that red dot right in the center of his chest and just pull back nice and slow. And hold the trigger back. That's it, that's it. All right, headshots. Go for the head.
Yeah.
Pull the
Now
trigger,
I
let
get
it
to
go.
see
Pull the trigger,
just
let it
how
go, and then
deadly
we'll
this
see how it
weapon
goes,
really
okay?
is.
Yeah. All right, so go fully automatic, all the way down, 1, 2. Just hold it to the rear and let it ride, okay?
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
Whoa!
There you go. There you go. Weapon on safe. There you go. Okay, good. Okay. There you go.
Thanks.
You're very welcome.
That's a nice little rush, isn't it?
That's
Yeah,
something, isn't it?
we got him anyway.
Yeah. Did you? Very good.
That's it. There's the. That's where he said I had to get inside. So there's one out there, but he got it there, and then this was the semi. Look, one right there. It's all very well to go firing at paper targets, but what if I was faced with the real thing? It's not just about pulling the trigger.
Right.
It's the years of training that go into making a SWAT cop that makes them such a deadly force. With the sound of gunfire still ringing in my ears, I head back over to the Eastern District to meet Lieutenant Rob Quick of the Violent Crimes Impact Division. They were formed in '91 to focus on gun crime, drugs and gangs. They're responsible for half the narcotics arrests in the city. I hit the streets with Rob, who brings me up to speed with the area and fills me in on why policing is in his blood. What made you decide to join the force?
It was a family affair. My grandfather was a Baltimore City policeman. My uncle, his son, so it was on my mother's side, was a Baltimore City policeman. I was very close with him and my grandfather growing up. I knew right away it's what I wanted to do.
How many cars we got out tonight, do you think, Rob?
Tonight we've probably got about 12 cars going. 4 squads, 3 cars per squad generally is about the rule. We're on the prowl. Guys will begin to drive around and look for suspicious activity, monitor the radio for any calls for service, which might be something we'd want to address.
And every incident, even when you pull a car over, whatever, there's always that threat, isn't there?
There is. You never know what you're going to experience out here.
One squad patrols up ahead, sniffing out and spotting potential suspects. The team have license to roam throughout the city districts. It's instinctive police work, and there is no substitute for experience. As dusk draws in, we get a call from the boys up ahead.
As suspected, got an informant information about an area we had just driven through a little earlier, Milton Avenue and Biddle Street. It's a pretty known heroin shop. They got some information that a particular individual is dealing down there right now. It's here on the right.
Rob notices one of the lads acting suspiciously as we pull up.
Gentlemen, how we doing? Everything okay? Well, what were you doing in that alley?
I wasn't in no alley.
You were never in an alley? I didn't just see you walk out of that alley like a minute ago.
No, you saw me walking down the street.
Is it in the street, but not the alley?
No.
I'm gonna beg to differ with you for a minute, okay? You don't have any ID on you, though?
No.
Gotcha, all right. Greg, you got him for a second? Go check something out.
As a norm, a dealer will stash their drugs close by in order to avoid getting caught red-handed.
They saw the guy with a baseball cap popped out of here and went back in with them. They want to search him a bit more, I think, so I think he might have something in his shoe, but it's a needle in a haystack trying to find anything.
He denied being in the alley, and I know I clearly saw him exit the alley, so that could be one tell that there is something back here. You see the sandwich baggies, that's the indication. Generally speaking, the higher concentration you see them in an area, the longer that they've been using that to lay the drugs down.
We have no joy in the alley, but one of the lads has noticed a woman acting suspiciously and he confiscates her purse.
Is it what's in here, what I think's in here? She said yes, which
Right.
referring to drugs. So I don't know how many.
$6 gel caps of heroin. Don't see them all every day. A few more in there.
She's a couple.
Gotta have it. For how long? Generally speaking, at the street level, the dealers are users. They're either juveniles trying to make money or adults with habits trying to support the habit by selling.
When we came by the first time, she had this little purple purse in her hand. She actually was right here in this alley. She handed a guy a small object. So as I circled the block to check it out, Lieutenant Quick had saw somebody else in that alley down the other end, so she had an opportunity to go inside the house. So as we were within the block or so, she came outside the house, sat down on the steps, still had the purse in her hand. She set it on the steps. I just asked her if I could talk to her, picked her purse up, and it was immediately apparent that there was gel caps of heroin in there. So I asked her if she admitted to it. So.
We do a routine check of the scene and move on. But it's like a crime a minute in the Eastern. And on the next block, we pull up a car with a couple of young men in it. Rob suspects drugs, and he sends a dog in to have a sniff.
We're just saying the driver looks really nervous. He's sweating. He just put his head down and shaking his head.
When the dog stops and stares, he just alerted for the presence of narcotics.
The suspects are asked to leave the vehicle so the dog can get in closer.
Would have put the dog around. The dog's alerted, and one of the officers said if it points, it's drugs or a gun. But the boys are saying there's nothing to say that they weren't smoking earlier in their marijuana or something like that. But the driver did look nervous.
This lot get lucky, as all of a sudden we get a tip-off. Someone is dealing drugs a couple of blocks away.
One unit's pulling up in the area right now. See what he reports. Is it your pocketbook, yes or no?
Yeah, that's my pocketbook.
It's your pocketbook? I feel packaging for drugs inside of here.
Packaging for drugs.
Yes, ma'am.
Ooh.
And that would be what I'm feeling.
All right, well, like I said, that's not my pocketbook, so.
But you said it was your pocketbook.
Stand up. It's not my pocketbook.
Okay. Is there anything else on you?
No.
Yellow top vials of a white substance that more likely than not is going to come back cocaine when analyzed. This is a common area for sales of cocaine. It's commonly the way in which it's packaged. So my guess is on cocaine.
Not only have we found the suspect we were tipped off about, but we also arrest her mate who has a bag full of heroin in her possession.
Is this the lady here that we were looking for?
I believe so. I haven't had a chance to confirm
So
that
the other
yet.
one just got caught in there?
Frankly, her description was pretty similar as well. If you notice, they both have white shirts, and my understanding was the information was a female with a white shirt. So I think it could have been either one, and probably these guys seeing that I stopped one, keyed in on the second, just in case.
Yeah.
In this situation, both of them were dirty.
Swept the net.
Yes.
Got two in one, yeah. Is she sitting there working for somebody?
More likely than not.
She can't afford that. Could she or what?
Generally not.
So
no.
someone will be saying, right, you sit here, when they pull up, just give them the thing. So she's got caught up in it.
Generally speaking.
It's a shame. 16 years old.
What I've learned is that for Rob Quick and his team, it's about making small, steady inroads into the drug and gun problems. It's been a successful night, and we head back to the station to process the suspects. I've been in Baltimore nearly a week, and I'm beginning to appreciate the risks, threats, and frustration the police face every day. But to fully understand what being one of the toughest police forces in the world is all about, I need to meet the violent criminals they're dealing with. I head over to the west side of the city to meet former local drug dealer Keith Jones, whose life has been overshadowed by gun crime.
I had a situation prior where a guy had killed my father, and
with a gun?
With a gun.
Was he a dealer?
No, he was actually a drug user. It was some type of like a robbery going sour, what have you. But in the process, my father lost his life.
In the ultimate act of revenge, Keith lay in wait for his victim.
We came out of the alley, and when I came out of the alley, he turned like this, and that's when I stood up. Boom, boom, boom. He fell. Boom, 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 boom. The street justice was that, man, you either be of the survival of the fittest, You either be a wolf or you will be a sheep.
Keith was sentenced to 35 years in prison, and it was there that he reached a turning point in his life.
You know, I went to my cell and I looked in the mirror, and you know what I said to myself? I said, man, this shit is not working. And I started investigating religions. You know, I started reading and stuff. I said, man, I gotta get myself together, you know?
Keith now spends his time talking to young people about gun crime, and it's this matter that I need to get to the bottom of.
I said to you, go and get me a gun. How long do you honestly think it would take you to get me one?
If I called an old friend, I probably could get one within an hour or two.
Within an hour?
Yeah.
And so can all these kids?
So can these kids. They probably can get it quicker. You know, they can get it quicker because the reality is what they do with the drug money is that they buy guns. And then even...
And is that to make them a bigger wolf?
Yeah.
So these police are putting their
life on the line.
Every night.
Very dangerous job.
Every night they're going out.
I would never have the job. even if I wasn't a convicted felon.
The cold facts are that on just one street in Baltimore, an estimated $10 million can be made dealing drugs every year, and the gun is a surefire way of protecting that money. Just as I finish with Keith, a call comes in from control. The SWAT team have been mobilised, and they're on their way to a highly charged situation in the centre of town.
So we're just going to go up there and see what's going on.
When I get there, the police are closing down the block and the crowds are held back.
The guy that came out with a machete after the kids in the street, and now he's gone back and said he's going to, he's got a revolver, 38 revolver, so he's barricaded himself in the house apparently, so this could be a long one.
The first team are getting ready to go in and extract the original cops from the line of fire.
First one of the week, is it?
Yes, sir.
Helicopter up there as well. Everything's here.
What, mate? I'm going to follow the SWAT team up for a closer look.
This guy's barricaded himself in up this side street. They reckon he's got a machete and a gun. He's done time in Vietnam. He's about 60 years old. And there's the armoured car there. You can just see the SWAT guys here up the side. Come here.
Hey, we want to move out of the line of sight altogether. If he has a long rifle, you want to be out of line of sight so he can't shoot you.
Can't shoot somebody, yeah.
Well, especially you, yeah.
Well, he might not have liked my films, John.
Maybe he wants an autograph.
It's all going on around me. You can sense that the team are on edge as the operation starts to unfold.
The guys that were here first on the scene, we basically chased him back into the house. They've had to stay there and secure him. So then the van's gone in, got them in the van now, brought them back out to safety. So now the boys, that's why we saw the boys with the big shields going in.
SWAT have carried out the first part of the job. They've removed the patrol officers who were first on the scene. It's then that the negotiators come forward, and I managed to get hold of one for a word.
What's going on?
Most of the snipers are here, and they're going to be setting up in their positions. Then negotiators are going to go up in the Bearcat and try and make contact with them. We can roll from there.
The negotiators are sent in, backed up by a second SWAT team, who are primed and ready to take out the suspect at a moment's notice.
The amazing thing is, they've just gone there now, them boys, and they're in full lock and load mode to shoot this guy. I wouldn't like to be that geezer now, I'll tell you that.
It's been 4 hours since the siege began. The man has shown no sign of coming out. I spot Zach from the rifle range.
It's not just jump out of the van and all rush in, is it?
Rush in, At least the weather's nice. When it's raining or snowing, 4 hours can seem like a lot longer, you know that.
SWAT command decides to offer the suspect a final ultimatum. The team then moves into position to bring the siege to a close.
Tell them to come outside with his hands.
I'm told they might fire tear gas and I'm asked to clear the area. But I can't move. I need to hear what's going on. Suddenly, I'm overcome with fumes.
We're about 60 yards away and they've put the tear gas in there. It's horrible, right, gets right in your throat, makes you sneeze. I don't know how he's still in there.
The tear gas has forced a man to give up, and the siege comes to an end.
It looks like they've got him in the street now on the floor. He's here now, he's in shorts. Oh, he looks the right state.
It's hard to believe this old man has caused so much drama that half the district has been closed down.
He seems a tough bastard, though, doesn't he? Really? He's got cuts and bruises everywhere. They just said to him, "You all right?" He said, "Well, I'm breathing." Such a shame, really. It's fought for his country and that, and, you know, it's ended like this. He just said, you know, I don't know what all the fuss is about. I ain't done nothing to no one. It's sad, but we got here around about, I don't know, 6:30, so it took 5 hours to get him out. You know, fantastic job by the SWAT. You know, they took every precaution. Made sure he didn't get hurt, made sure no one else got hurt. Just all sad, mate. So there it is.
It's been an eye-opening week for me in Baltimore. It's a city where the poorer areas are suffering from mass unemployment, where making money from drugs is an easy option. A massive 10% of the population are addicts and ready to do anything to get high. It's no wonder the cops of Baltimore are struggling to cope. Being a cop here is not just about bigger firepower and taking people out. It's about training, skill, instinct, and the ability to make decisions in an instant, which makes these guys some of America's toughest cops.
America, a country with some of the most brutal criminals in the world. And fighting back are some of the world's toughest cops. Yeah, he's round the back. I had a shot in there. It's a job where murder, drug wars and gun crime are part of everyday life.
Come here.
A job where doing your duty could cost you your life.
They're running. Run! We got one!
Now I'm joining some of these cops on the front line in the battle against the bad guys. We got him.
Yeah.
This is New Orleans, the Big Easy. But there's nothing easy about being a cop in this place. He's running. We've got a runner. There, across the road. Stop. Come here! Get down! Yeah, he's round the back.
The police are fighting a war against ruthless drug dealing gangs, and the city is awash with guns.
You know you shouldn't be having a gun at 16, eh?
New Orleans has the highest murder rate in the country, with a killing nearly every 2 days.
They noticed AK-47. That was one of the weapons used in the shooting.
In 2005, Hurricane Katrina blew into town, and the city descended into deadly lawlessness.
We gotta steal from each other so we can survive and feed our children.
It was almost apocalyptical. It was a free-for-all.
Now I'm going on the front line with the men and women that will stop at nothing to rid their city of violent crime.
Please, come on!
New Orleans, Louisiana is nestled in the deep south at the mouth of the Mississippi. It's a beautiful city with a turbulent past. Uptown, the picturesque French Quarter pays homage to its original settlers. But just a few miles away, downtown tells a different story. Violent crime in the city is amongst the worst in the US, which has led to New Orleans being recently ranked as having the highest crime rate in the United States per head of population.
Somebody came and shot you all up in your head, huh?
The police face a lot of weapons, with some New Orleanians permitted to carry handguns in their cars and on their person. I'm here to roll with the NOPD Special Operations Unit. These guys are no ordinary cops. They deal with everything from tactical assaults to targeting the city's most violent criminals. VALS, or the Violent Offenders Warrant Squad, are gathering for a briefing in the 6th District.
At this point, we're going to walk through the door, we're going to go out there, we're going to grab these guys, and just make sure that you guys don't, I don't want to end up with anybody getting hurt.
VALS has been assigned 37 criminals to arrest wanted for drug dealing in the city.
Send out that address, Troy, please.
Officer Fred Pfaff has served on the New Orleans streets for 15 years and with the warrant squad for 4.
All right, 10-4. Our main job responsibilities are locating wanted subjects, the warrants sent to us, and our task is to go out and try to locate that subject and put him in jail. The individuals that we're looking for now, they're drug dealers, so there's a possibility that these people can be armed. But yeah, we're at the location now. Hold on a second.
All right, the gate's locked in the back. I can't get through.
Fred and the unit approach the house and knock on the door. After a short while, they make contact and the lady answers.
He don't live here. I have no idea. He gave my address.
As the officers search the house for the suspect, they make a discovery.
You got something on you, baby? I don't have nothing on me.
Put your hands on your back. Who flushed that coke?
What coke?
Cocaine that's in the bathroom, baby.
I don't have no cocaine.
There's drugs in your bathroom, in your tub, okay?
I don't sell no drugs.
That shit in there too?
Yes.
I'm getting the fuck out of here.
It's left to Officer Mike Hamilton to recover the submerged drugs which suspects have attempted to flush down the toilet.
For the love of the job. That's suspected heroin. Roughly an ounce of raw heroin.
The VALS unit strike it lucky on their first warrant of the day, and they uncover $50,000 of raw uncut heroin and over $2,000 in cash. With neither of the subjects in the house willing to own up to the drugs, both are arrested and taken to jail. The VALS unit are on the front line of the crime war in New Orleans. Every day they are charged with bringing in the city's most wanted. From armed robbers and murderers to prison escapees and drug dealers.
Distribution of heroin.
They often face hardened criminals with a lot to lose, so a tough and uncompromising approach is always necessary.
You're going to jail. The distribution of crack cocaine. Me?
As the day rolls on, VALS round up 30 wanted criminals and a large quantity of illegal narcotics.
Open the front door.
Successfully removing drugs and the drug dealers from the city streets. I'm joining Fred for my first patrol with VALS on the mean streets of New Orleans. What do you think about our boys? Our cops don't carry guns.
But there's no way. There's no way that I would go out on the street without a gun.
You wouldn't?
Not here, absolutely not. They have criminals all over the country, but in this city, they're savages. They don't care about anything.
Our first warrant is for a man wanted for an assault on his girlfriend and criminal damage to property. But I want to earn my place in the patrol car and prove I'm not just here for the ride. In New Orleans in 2007, there were over 3,000 arrests made for domestic violence.
Can y'all push on this gate for me real quick?
With nobody answering at the front door, Fred tries to gain access to the backyard to see if there's any sign of life.
There it is.
Finally, after some determined police work, we get contact.
Come to the front of the house. It's the police.
Hey,
How's it going? Morning. You have a shirt?
Yes, I have.
Hey, listen, dude.
Yes, sir.
Calm it down here.
Okay.
Take it down a notch.
I am. I'm surprised.
Your girlfriend, whatever was going on with
I'm very
y'all,
surprised.
she put charges on you. We didn't do it.
Okay.
She did it, okay?
Well, that's a big
And
mistake.
you have a warrant
Okay.
on you, okay? That's why we're here, all right?
As the suspect is led from the house, his aggressive nature becomes apparent, something the sergeant is quick to subdue.
This is embarrassing. He treated a man like a rat.
Like a what?
Like a rat.
You're not being treated like a rat?
You treat your girlfriend.
I did not.
Okay? So
I
don't
did
come out here
not.
with all that bullshit.
I would never hit anybody.
Did I say you hit her?
No.
You threatened her. Get your hands from the floor, man.
The guy come out, don't treat me like a rat. The sergeant just went, man, we'll put you in a fucking cage, we'll treat you like a rat.
It was my first case with Fred, and I was proud to have aided in the arrest of a wanted man.
When I opened that gate, it was like, I can't express the satisfaction. And when Fred said, wiggle the gate, I wiggled the gate and it opened up, and it just opened up the case.
Absolutely, you got that right.
So, we could be getting a taser gun or something by lunchtime, probably.
I'm in New Orleans, Louisiana with the Elite Special Operations Unit.
Good man.
When they're not serving warrants on some of the most wanted criminals in the city, they're on SWAT duty, knocking down doors and storming houses. It's my first time at Special Ops HQ, and I'm impressed. The ring in the corner is the unit's proving ground, something I'm going to experience later.
Yeah.
When I arrived, they were looking over surveillance footage of the target's house.
Perimeter team, you gotta take bolt cutters with you and get into that fence. Cut that fence and get to the rear.
Well, we won't know until we get there. But see all that shrubbery
I'm
back
told
there?
they're also looking for weapons used for multiple murders and armed robberies.
All right, just gonna have them hold on that, wait for the red team to make entry into the house, dominate the house, and wait for the call to move to the back.
Correct.
Because of the dangers involved in the raid, I'm told I won't be allowed to ride with the boys in the SWAT truck. Instead, I'll be rolling with Lieutenant Brian Lampard.
All right.
You're up 10 minutes, guys.
You might as well be dialing big.
As we prepare to leave, I'll receive an update on the surveillance operation at the house.
Line up with perimeter team.
The homicide, I've just said to Brian that the guy is there. 6 foot odd. Got a pit bull, and there's a woman with him as well. So the target is actually there, so this could be really exciting.
Let's go, Posse up.
Because of the high risk of the weapons being used, the SWAT team need to hit the house in numbers. On this raid, nearly 40 police officers are involved.
Let's go, roll out.
Bearcat to cat team, make sure you get up and get in. Make sure you stop there, make sure we're all tight.
What's the dangers here now, Brian?
Well, like we discussed in the briefing, this guy's wanted for murder.
Yeah.
He obviously has violence in his past. Depending on how bad he wants to stand his ground, he's got the potential to be a violent encounter for us.
I don't know how they feel. I've got the adrenaline going. It's good.
Okay, you can walk away.
There's the house there. Should be ready for it. They're all going up the side of the house.
SWAT raids are fraught with danger. With a high possibility of a shooting of a suspect or officer, I'm happy not to be first through the door on this one.
They're bashing the front door in. They're going in now. They're all in there now. Everybody's inside. There's a lot of shouting and screaming.
It was tense in the car as we waited outside for an update from the SWAT team.
Are you holding the target?
Negative, one female.
Here comes a woman. There's a lady come out the
Red
front.
team to blue team. Red team leader, we're making a move upstairs. Corey, get the intel.
With no sign of the target, I'm allowed to move forward towards the house.
It was really quick. I mean, they literally was here, up the side, round the back, through the front door. Really effective, really, really good. They've got one woman in there, so whether the guy got out or what, I don't know. But the trouble is, when they're coming in, they've got so many of these kids on corners with cell phones, I think they get tipped off. That's the battle. these guys, you know, they've got lookouts on the corners on the cell phones. So whether he's out and gone, the car's still here. She's over there still screaming and shouting, so we'll have to wait and see.
With the house now safe, I went in to see what the team are up against.
Stinks of dogs. There's 2 more dogs in there. One come out. There's a pit bull around the side.
Officer Chad Gagnon was first through the door.
You never know what you're gonna get. I mean, you know, the warrant is a homicide warrant, so you know you're going after a guy who's already committed a homicide. His potential for violence is very high. You never want to see those days where one of us don't come out of the house. You know?
Even though the target wasn't in the house, the SWAT team recovered a weapon used in a double murder. The gun will eventually be destroyed, along with the estimated 2,300 firearms the NOPD recover every year. I'm impressed watching the unit in action. These guys know what they're doing and are clearly very good at it. I'm disappointed not to have gone through the door with the team, but they've told me I can prove my worth to the unit in an initiation test that they have planned. My reputation precedes me as a bit of a hard man, so they've told me I need to face one of their tough guys in the ring. To them, I'm Hollywood, but they don't know I've recently spent 6 weeks in a gym training for my last movie.
Oi, I'm the only traveller who's won 6 years in a row. I've done the Strength and Honour movie with Michael Madsen, and I was in the gym for 6 weeks and really got into it, and you realise how hard it is.
I'm ready to fight, but then Jeff, unit's prize fighter, steps through the door.
Jeff? How you doing, man?
Yeah, bro, it's good to meet you,
Hey,
man.
Vinnie. Hopefully he's got an extra thick head guard for me.
Absolutely.
And he takes it easy on me.
Nah.
Because we got to work tonight. And this has become precious now, so. What are you, 220, Jeff? 230?
Wait.
Yeah.
265.
265, there you go. And I've just lost about 12 pounds.
As I'm giving up a weight advantage, I'm going to have to draw upon my speed and nimble footwork to get through this fight.
Just in case you start throwing wild.
Whether that will last for 2 rounds is doubtful.
I'm sparring for the honor of the SWAT team.
Fighting for Britain. Flying the flag for Britain.
Never.
We'll see. As long as you don't put me on my arse, I'll be fine. If he does, I'll kick him in the bollocks anyway.
I'm aware of this. In case he throws a low shot, I'll still be able to have some kids.
This is my chance to prove myself in front of the boys. And they've all turned out in force to see Jeff take me down.
I don't know. This is going to be a close one. I don't know how the man can do it, but the young buck can hit hard. I know that.
I started well, managing to get a few good jabs in. But then my fitness started to tell. The legs couldn't keep up with the heart, and Jeff got through my guard.
You good?
He caught me with a leg wobbler right on the chin, but I managed to stay on my feet to hear the bell.
Done. Good round.
Don't tell Vinny now, but if he beats Roach, we're gonna book him. He's going to jail.
Fucking out of shape, dude, I tell you. You've got to hit on his fucking moves.
I have to admit, Vinny's fighting a better fight than what I expect. I wasn't sure what to expect, but I got some grab in him.
I came out fighting in the second and gave it me all. I'd given it my best shot. I was just happy not to be lying flat out on my back in front of the boys.
Jeff's saying I'm coming in a bit low there. He was waiting for me to throw it, but caught me one where...
Ooh. I'd have to take the first round because I caught him with that hook. Vinny's gonna have to take the second round because he put a few punches together on me I couldn't defend. So we'll definitely call it a split decision. You know, he might have threw the fight because he, you know, he didn't want to go to jail. Yeah, that's...
I might not have won, but I earned their respect and a place alongside them for the notoriously eventful night shift. But the dangers for the unit in New Orleans today pale in comparison to what they faced in 2005. That summer, New Orleans was hit by a storm greater than any before. Hurricane Katrina gained pace over the Caribbean Sea before unleashing all its fury on the Big Easy. The sea level rose until the levees couldn't take it anymore.
These streets look like rivers and canals.
Almost immediately, more than 3/4 of New Orleans was under 5 feet of water, and 70% of the city's police officers became homeless.
I'm lost. That's all I had. That's all I had.
Jason Samuels was one of many NOPD officers that stayed in the city to help its citizens.
It was almost apocalyptical. Probably 85% of the city was underwater, at least 3 to 4 feet, which you had families stuck that needed rescuing. And then the other 15% that was out of water, you had millions of people heading that way to basically steal what they wanted, what they needed, or just try to find safety.
They said send everybody to the Superdome. That was horrific. There was murder, there was suicide, conditions that were so horrible that I had to get out.
More than half of the city fled, but with New Orleans in its hour of need, Jason knew he had to stay. He regrouped with the rest of the unit in a nearby school.
I mean, you basically learned a survival mentality. We went and found stores that maybe weren't flooded where we were able to get socks and some type of food stuff, canned food and everything, to where we were able to sustain ourselves until help arrived.
Jason and the Special Operations Unit patrolled the city with the Army, rescuing those in need and recovering the bodies of some of the estimated 2,000 people that died.
Local law enforcement was awesome. You know, they routinely running through about every 10 minutes. So.
Amazingly, Jason did all this with an open gunshot wound in his leg. Just over a month before Katrina hit, he was involved in a shootout with a fleeing criminal whilst on duty in the city.
The gunshot wound in my groin area had never closed, so I was constantly bleeding. My left leg swelled up to probably 2 to 3 times its normal size. The pain was such that I would crawl to, you know, where my boots were or whatever and get dressed. And I just put on my gear and went to work.
Even now, the city is still recovering, but the heroics of Jason and his fellow NOPD officers will always be remembered.
As far as American police, I don't think there's any other unit that's been through what we've been through. It was akin to guys going overseas to war together.
Without a doubt, the Special Ops Unit excelled in the city's time of need, and listening to the heroics of Jason makes me proud to be serving alongside them. But as I was about to find out, when night falls, the challenge of being a cop in New Orleans becomes even greater. I'm in New Orleans, Louisiana, a city blighted by drugs and illegal firearms. I've seen the Special Operations Unit in action looking for weapons.
They're going in now.
And arresting drug dealers. But the frontline policing is done by TAC patrols who roam the city's toughest neighborhoods, tackling crime as it happens.
That's not mine. Don't be playing no games. I'm not playing no games.
Officer Christian Frick is heading to one of the city's most crime-ridden neighborhoods.
Tonight we're in the 5th District, and we're going to look for some no drug hotspots. We'll see what we could shake up in the neighborhood, and hopefully we can get a few of these troublemakers off the street.
The night is still young when Frick gets a call to assist other officers on the scene of a triple shooting.
Yeah, this is actually going to be the scene right here on the left with all the news cameras.
What's the script, Unit? What's the script? Black man don't shoot.
On the scene, Frick discovers that 3 men in a 4x4 drove past and sprayed everyone on the pavement with an AK-47. One of the victims is a 16-year-old boy.
The crime actually happened right here by the car where all the cones are. From there, once the shots rang out, the victims probably ran over to this tire shop, at which point they were hit, and unfortunately one's down, and he's been pronounced dead on the scene.
Away from the murder scene, the chase for the killers continues. Officer Frick gets information that the car used has been abandoned nearby after a brief chase.
All three subjects bailed out of the vehicle, and fortunately for the police, they left the AK-47 inside the vehicle.
Officers caught 2 of the perpetrators as they ran from the car, but one still remains at large. As Christian returns to the car, he gets a call that the remaining wanted man has been spotted.
All right, St. Maurice and Iroquois. You running across St. Maurice?
St. Marie and Iroquois, come on.
You got out of that perimeter again.
We got a guy fitting the script of this 34S of the shooting. He just ran across the street here. He's gonna bunker down now. We got this perimeter set fairly quick over here. And we're gonna stop right here. That's gonna be our corner. We're gonna get out on this corner here. Set up this perimeter.
As the killer darts through the gardens, the units in the area quickly cordon off the block that he has last seen him.
We're gonna have a solid perimeter on this guy now. The subject crossed one street. Now he's gonna be in this street here.
The K9 unit arrives and searches the area, but unfortunately it fails to pick up on the perpetrator's scent. The search is hampered by the number of empty houses left over from Hurricane Katrina that act as good hideaways.
They could go anywhere in these abandoned houses. And on that last block, there was only 2 houses that people were actually living in.
After looking for over an hour, the search is eventually called off. With 2 suspects in custody, getting the name of the third won't be difficult.
What you doing, bro?
However, for Christian not to find the suspect is still frustrating.
It's aggravating. I mean, we've been out here for an hour. You got numerous officers out here concentrating on this area, and we can't do anything about it. Rounds for 30 rounds.
Clearly, when the sun goes down, the criminals come out to play, and the job of the police becomes even more difficult. The following night, I hit the streets with Officer John Barbetti, who has survived many close encounters.
Pretty much controlled, but, you know, there's murders every day.
Your first gunfight, how did that come around?
It was interesting. We had an informant working with us, and they said there was going to be a deal going down, and we were going to try to jump it around, and it ended up turning into a gunfight right then and there.
What, he jumped out with the gun?
Yeah, 2 passengers and the driver all had guns.
How long ago was that?
That was in 2001.
You've had a few more since then, have you?
Yes.
I'm slightly worried I might be going on patrol with a bullet magnet, but thankfully we're hitting the ghetto in numbers.
You got anybody with you?
We're traveling in a special tactical group known as the Wolf Pack. A gang of cars that stick together to flood a particularly difficult area.
All we do is mostly proactive kind of work. Try to stop it before it happens or while it's happening. This is the 9th Ward area. A lot of chasing, a lot of weapons violations, and heavy into narcotics. He's gonna stop this guy right here. Check him out. We kind of watch his hands, see what kind of movement he does.
Check this car real quick.
I'm learning that working as a street cop requires a different set of skills.
Did we make you nervous? You all right? You sure? Your heart's going 100 miles an hour.
The tactical units act on instinct, identifying who to stop.
Stand right next to the man.
Seeing Barbetti in action, I'm picking up how the Wolf Pack operates. Then a call comes through on the radio of another unit needing assistance.
Bring you guys over here to the 4,000 block.
On the scene, a young suspect is in custody, and then I notice why.
Fuck. You had that gun?
Yeah. What you carrying a pistol for, bro?
Officer Wagger's pack was first on the scene, so I asked him what happened.
We saw the subject emerge from the corner on the bicycle. He hopped off the bicycle, started fleeing on foot.
digging in his pocket like this, believing he was concealing a weapon, concealing a firearm. We hopped out, we started ordering him to stop. He continued running. As he got about up into this area right here, he removed the firearm from his pocket, tossed it onto the concrete here. Officer Boudreaux tased him, and he was quickly subdued.
How old are you?
I'm 16.
16.
I probably get like
Unbelievably, the suspect cycling around with a loaded gun isn't even old enough to watch one of my films at the cinema.
16 years old.
As the case unravels, the armed cyclist provides a novel excuse as to why he's carrying a gun.
He said he chased a chicken under the house. Missed the chicken and found the gun and the bullets under a house while he was riding his bike.
As excuses go, this one ranks right up there. I went to speak to him to see if there were any holes in his story.
What happened with the gun? Where did you find the gun?
At the house.
Over there?
Not over here, up the street.
What, was a chicken under the house?
I was chasing a chicken.
Why were you chasing a chicken?
I sell a chicken, get the money, buy my clothes and stuff.
You get $10 a chicken.
$10 a chicken? How many did you get in a day?
Huh?
How many did you get?
I ain't catching nothing. I found the gun. I was go sell it.
You quick enough to catch a chicken?
Yeah.
You sure? You know you shouldn't be having a gun at 16, eh?
I already know.
Why didn't you? You should have just stopped the policeman and just gave him the gun. So look, I just found this gun. Then you wouldn't be in no problems.
I won't get no reward for that.
Look at your reward now, then, huh? You know what I mean? You're gonna have this forever now, dude.
In order to stop the chicken chaser from fleeing, the officers deployed a taser device. This temporarily stuns the suspect with 50,000 volts of electricity.
Is that the first time you've been tasered?
First time I ever got in trouble like that.
Did that hurt?
Shaking like a chicken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shaking like a chicken. Maybe we get $10 for you then.
Yeah, you made all these policemen come out here. Have a seat right there, man.
The kid's funny, but I doubt how honest he's being.
I know.
In New Orleans, even 16-year-olds are involved in serious crime.
He's not going anywhere.
I mean, a lot of the armed robberies and stuff like that, and even nowadays the murders, the perpetrators are getting younger and younger. So who knows what he had on his mind, you know?
Watching the Wolfpack deal with the armed cyclist, it helped me understand the challenge these cops face, and rolling with John and the boys is starting to get me thinking more like a cop.
This you?
Yeah.
From the Florida. Jennings 9 to 9mm.
As the night wears on, we're coming up against more and more guns, and I start seeing what the cops are up against each time they step onto the streets.
2 guns, 2 stops, 2 guns.
It's an eye-opener to be riding with John and the Wolfpack, witnessing firsthand the dangerous job they do out here.
Looks like a Trans Am over at the light.
We received a call to respond to yet another stop and search when the unit ahead spots a suspicious car at the junction.
No turning right there.
Bar Betty tells him just in case he needs backup. Then a simple stop and search turns into a car chase.
He's running. We got a runner. We got a runner.
We're traveling at nearly 100 miles an hour on a dusty back road, but still the suspect's car ahead is leaving us in a cloud of dust.
Hold on. Yeah.
Yeah, we're chasing a car right now. He's running from the police. Just gotta watch these intersections.
It's so dusty, we can't see a lot.
Up ahead, the criminal's car turns right. So John takes an earlier road to see if we can head him off.
We're paralleling him right now. See if we can cut him off.
As we wait for the car to emerge, the chasing unit radio, and they tell us that the wanted men have crashed and are now on foot.
Is he running, John?
Yeah, he's on foot. He's right out here someplace. Keep an eye on behind us.
Yeah.
5400 block. He's gonna be at 5400 block.
I was scouring the houses looking for a sign of the 2 criminals.
There, across the road.
Just ahead, I spot one of them run in front of us, and he heads into the bushes.
In there, huh?
Yeah, he cut across. He's on Royal. 2100, going back toward St. Claude. Stop, back up, go back! Come here! Get down! Get down! Get down!
With Barbetti in the bushes chasing the suspect, someone needs to get round the side and head him off.
Yeah, he's round the back.
We need to set up a perimeter. Somebody need to call out the name. Where they wiring?
You got him back there?
Thankfully, another unit was there to tackle him. Otherwise, I would have had to notch up my first takedown.
Go the other way, man. Go the other way.
What?
But there was still one fugitive at large.
I think there's another one. Is there another one? I saw the fucker run behind us into the bushes. Is there another one?
Yeah, it's gonna be one more. We got the driver so far.
K9's already been called, bro. K9's already been called. I'm gonna put him on this side, bro.
Yeah, y'all hold that corner right there. You can back it up. Right there.
Oof, that was the real stuff. John just said to me, keep an eye out behind. I look behind, I just see him run across the street behind us. When he was going so fast, any little kids, anything, you'd have just killed him
You
in
got him?
seconds. They got the one, yeah.
Yeah, we flushed it.
The one we saw coming.
I saw him. I couldn't get back to that fence fast enough. I got whaled in the face with a tree branch.
I just saw him out the corner of my eye, just running across
That
the
was a
street.
good one. I said, I looked back and I saw you say, I look at it.
While we wait for the K9 unit, I go to where the car crashed to find out how the chase ended.
Here's the skid marks, right back here, look. And there's the skid there. So they've gone through there, tried to rectify it. Lucky it never went through the house. I think there must have been a cop car here, so they've spun it in here. There's one of the hats there, so the other guy's saying he was in the passenger seat, but looking at this, it looks like he was the one we got's the driver.
They're checking it. It's stolen. It's gonna be stolen.
You stole the car?
He stole the car. He picked me up.
K9 arrive on the scene and I direct them into the block where the remaining fugitive was last seen.
Yeah, John chased him across this street. This one came into here, the one they caught. So the other one might be in the other block.
Yeah, did y'all see him? You saw him come out?
We scour through gardens and search the abandoned houses, not knowing what we might uncover. My heart is in my mouth.
Yeah, they don't know whether he's got a gun or not. They didn't find a gun in the car. So that's why everywhere they look, they've got the guns out first. Million places to hide.
After over an hour of meticulous searching, the K9 unit called it a day.
We went into every garden. Dog never picked up anything. Car's pretty smashed up, as you saw. That's nearly a write-off, I'd imagine.
But you did a good job spotting them.
Yeah, we spotted him all right, but just frustrating we never got the other one.
Yeah. But it was good eyesight and led to an apprehension.
Yeah.
Thank God we were close and there's one less criminal on the street.
But there's so many places in there to hide, man, I tell you.
I'm proud to have helped John and the wolf pack get an arrest, but it's sad to see yet another young teenager in the hands of the law.
Yes, I do.
After the adrenaline of the chase wears off, I'm left feeling thankful that this time no weapons were drawn and that the boys can all head home tonight. I'm in New Orleans in the deep south of the United States. It's been a privilege to roll with one of the best units in the NOPD. Witnessing firsthand the challenges they face and helping them to apprehend the bad guys.
Yeah, he's round the back.
For my last night, I'm teamed up with Sergeant Dave Duplantier, a local New Orleanian who joined the police after growing up in the hood.
How long have you been in the force, and why did you join, Dave?
I've been on a little over 18 years now, and I was always curious about police work, but I was always kind of on the other side. I wasn't a bad kid by any means, but you know, you do things that teenagers do, so. And we hung out a lot, so we got stopped and checked out a lot. You know, there used to be at least a code amongst criminals and that bad seed of the world, you know, where they would deal with each other, but they kind of left the elderly and the innocent out of it. Not anymore.
Even though Dave knows the ghetto better than most, he understands he can't take any situation lightly, and all the units must stick together.
Not everybody in these neighborhoods are bad, but you got that rough element in the neighborhood. And even those that aren't bad, they're gonna side with their blood, they're gonna side with their family. And we're not family. For instance, the neighborhood, see how many people will be out there, how many threats that are around us. It can become a pretty hostile situation.
But then they're the first ones to call you guys.
Yeah,
one on the inside, go. Inside. All right, you turn it right on. Yeah, you turn it right on, baby.
As we drive through the city, Dave receives an urgent call and the lights go on.
Talk to me, where you at?
What was that, Dave?
They got a guy running on foot that bolted on him.
They got a little 75.
The worst call a cop can get is to hear a fellow officer is down or is struggling with a suspect because he knows to get away, he will have to use any means.
Right now they got a fight going on.
With some officers?
Yeah, they got some officers involved. Good? Everybody good?
When we arrive, the area is flooded with cops to control the situation, and 3 suspects have been apprehended. I'm told that as the officers went to apprehend the suspect, a gun was pulled.
Might be easy to get over.
And after a brief struggle, it was thrown into a nearby alleyway. The number of units is justified, as this street corner is at the center of a gang war. The suspects arrested are most likely gang members, armed and ready to protect their turf. After checking the rear of the property, Dave makes an alarming discovery.
Female, date of birth.
Poor man's version of a Benelli, huh?
The gang had hidden a laser-sighted semi-automatic machine gun in the back garden. A sign that gang wars in this city are the real deal. In New Orleans, because many lawful citizens are permitted to carry and own guns, they are often taken in robberies. In the US, it's estimated that nearly 500,000 are stolen every year. With 3 suspects in custody and 2 weapons recovered, including a machine gun, the night's work would seem a success.
I'm not in no beef. You violate me bad, man. You got me bad.
But the challenge of dealing with so many young people with guns is troubling.
Nobody should calm down, all right? Look around, look at everybody right now in these cars and in handcuffs. Look at their faces. They're kids, they're children. And you see the hardware that they're carrying out there, the rifles, the guns.
That's the frightening thing, yeah. They got that, yeah, they pull the trigger. They don't know the consequences of what they're doing.
They don't. There's people out there that kill each other like crazy, you know. That's the world we live in, you know. That's just how it is right now. It's sad.
It's estimated that up to 50% of teenagers drop out of high school across the state, and many turn to crime to get by.
They look so innocent when you arrest them, don't they?
The only thing you can tell them is death or jail. And guess what? They don't care about either one. Jail is almost like graduating from college for kids out here. It's a pin on their shirt. So they don't care about that. They just go do their time, learn in jail, and come back out and keep doing it.
As we leave yet another scene where teenagers have been arrested and weapons recovered, I'm left thinking that the job of Dave and all the cops in New Orleans is one I couldn't deal with day to day.
Just like in one night, let alone, you know, 1 week, the amount of guns that the lads are getting and the amount of guns they have to deal with and that threat, I just find phenomenal.
The gun situation is out of control. It really is. Well, I mean, I've been doing this 18 years, and I still sometimes ride around and I just, you know, every now and then you just kind of get awestruck with the amount of weapons that you see on the street. This is just a city where young, old, everybody's carrying a gun. It's almost like the Wild Wild West.
It's a hard-hitting final night on patrol with the Special Ops Unit. But with cops like Dave and the boys out here, New Orleans is certainly a better place. I've grown to appreciate the tough job they do, to understand it takes a special person to do this day in and day out.
So basically, that's our time now up in New Orleans with the SWAT boys and everybody, and I've got to say, it's been really enjoyable. I found that the longer we've been here, the more they sort of bring you into the group, and what's come out of it for me is how tight they are and how they all rely on each other. The shocking side of it all, really, for me, is the amount of young kids, you know, 16-year-olds walking about with a gun, you know, full magazine, loaded, ready to go. You know, great learning curve and full of excitement, great adrenaline rushes on the car chase especially. You know, you never know if someone's going to run out or anything, you know, you're doing 100 mile an hour through these little streets. That was quite hairy. You know, it's been a great experience, and and I think it's taught me to basically, for me, to respect the law a lot more.
America, a country with some of the most brutal criminals in the world. And fighting back
are some of the world's toughest cops. Yeah, he's round the back.
I had a shot in there. It's a job where murder, drug wars and gun crime are part of everyday life.
Come here.
A job where doing your duty could cost you your life.
They're running, they're running, they're running! Run! We got one!
Now I'm joining some of these cops on the front line in the battle against the bad guys. We got him.
Yeah.
They call it the City of Angels, but take it from me, there's more to LA than bright lights and Tinseltown glamour.
Los Angeles is a melting pot of crime.
I have nothing at all.
The cops here face everything, from action movie-style robberies to mass public disorder and thousands of active gang members.
He's one of the go-to guys for guns.
I'm going into the hood with the LAPD gang units. On their mission to clean up the city's most dangerous neighborhoods.
He's admitted that he's took it now, but he still won't tell them how much.
Gang crime is rife here, with violence, shootings and murders, part of everyday life in South Central LA.
The most dangerous place on earth.
Someone said a gunshot's been heard.
Hit the curb. Put your hands on your head, turn around.
Los Angeles is the second most populated city in the United States, home to 3.8 million people and the film industry. And for the past few years, it's been my adopted hometown. Everyone knows about Rodeo Drive, Sunset Boulevard and Venice Beach. But beyond the glamour, hard bodies and whitened teeth is another side to the city. And it's the side that I'm gonna see firsthand when I head out with the cops. In the past 5 years alone, these streets have witnessed over 23,000 gang-related crimes. But before I head out, I want to get an idea of what I'm going to be facing. So I come to meet a man who's seen it all, Commander Pat Gannon, the head of all the gang units in the LAPD.
How many gangs are there here?
There are hundreds of gangs in the city of Los Angeles. In the south part of the city, in South Los Angeles, in one small 10-square-mile area, there's 60 gangs with 60 subsets of those particular gangs.
10-mile block?
In a 10-mile area.
Where did it all start then? How did it?
Oh my gosh!
How do you think it all started?
It evolved over a period of time. For Los Angeles, it's when cocaine, crack cocaine, PCP, and those types of drugs became very prevalent. And then you had the selling of those drugs became a moneymaker. I tell you, for gang members talk about neighborhoods and protecting their own, and it's all for the neighborhood. It's about money.
LA is home to the most infamous gangs in the world, the Bloods and the Crips. And their main business is the drug trade. The Bloods and the Crips are the city's black gangs. Added into the mix are the Hispanic gangs. In the last 25 years, more than 10,000 gang members have been killed. The highest concentration of gang activity is in the city, the notorious 77th District. And that's where I'm headed. I'm going to be on patrol with Sergeant Ron Lopez. The wall of his office is a rogues gallery of gang members. And there's quite a few of them.
These guys here are Bloods, 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 Bloods. And then within the Crips, there's two different sets of Crips. There's neighborhood Crips and gangster Crips. Vastly different, even though they're both called Crips. They don't get along. Neighborhood Crips, neighborhood, 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 neighborhood Crips as well. The Troubles, Hoovers, Hoovers, Hoovers. All Hoovers are gangster Crips. So these guys will fight these guys just as much as they would fight these guys.
Now I've seen what we're up against, it's time to get in amongst it, and I'm headed straight into the thick of it. We're headed deep in the heart of the 77th District gangland. Some gang members who are on parole have been spotted drinking at a house party. They're breaking the conditions of their release.
We know there's gang members in the party that are on probation and parole. They're not supposed to be hanging out together.
It may not sound dangerous, but it's a potential tinderbox situation, and it could escalate into something far bigger.
Other reason for breaking up gang parties is that it allows rival gangs to have a good target.
A few blocks away, the cops plan their raid on the gathering.
On the southwest corner, there's a lookout out there. He's dressed in black, the black cap on. So we've been seeing him up and down the street all night, just driving around. So
we're gonna jam everybody up and put them all against the east side of the building.
They're not taking any chances.
Menlo. All right, saddle up.
Every actor should have one of these.
If everybody's still there, pertaining to the information we got during the little briefing right now, should be a pretty good hit.
A lot of drinking, a lot of booze, a lot of drugs, possible guns.
All of the above are very likely in a situation like this. What our guys will be paying specific attention for is that one or two guys that try to make a break for it on the back side of the group. It has the potential to be very dangerous.
The boys seem quite keyed up for it. They like all this, do they?
Oh, it's like a kid going to Disneyland for them. They affectionately refer to it as smashing.
Yeah.
We're gonna go smash a party. So.
As we get closer, we kill the lights.
Go ahead and kill the light.
And then hit the gas.
Hurry up and get some rope right there. Everybody up.
Go, hit the fence on your head. Let's go.
The party girls are lined up as the cops search the location for drugs and guns. But they find nothing, and the gang members they were looking for seem to have slipped into the night.
They had surveillance that there was a few gang members there that they wanted to round up, but they think maybe the boys they were after slipped out. So it's a bit of after Lord Mayor's show a little bit. So we'll move on anyway.
I'm in the hometown of movies, Los Angeles, California. It's the showbiz capital of the world, but behind the glitz and glamour lies an underbelly of crime and violence. I'm seeing a different side to the city, with the cops of the LAPD Special Gang Unit, who specialise in tackling gang crime. LA's gang problem is an ongoing battle. The two most infamous gangs are the Bloods and the Crips.
Crip to the heart, baby.
The Crips emerged in the early 70s and are identifiable with their blue colours. The Bloods, whose colour is red, was formed a few years later to rival the Crips. Along with large numbers of Hispanic gangs that populate the city, gang crime has been the major problem facing the LAPD. I'm rolling with Sergeant Ron Lopez. It's my first time on patrol on the Los Angeles streets, but Ron's been doing this for 14 years. The LAPD is in his blood.
What was your inspiration behind becoming a cop, especially so early?
I grew up with it. I'm actually second generation. My dad did 38 years with LAPD. So this is all I knew as a kid growing up.
As we drive around, I start to get an idea of the problems the cops face.
This house here, we pulled an AK-47 out of this house.
You get a lot of the young kids getting caught up in crossfires and stuff?
Yeah, we had 7, 8-year-old girl got killed about a year ago. And there was about 300 cruisers in the gas station there, the Shell gas station. They were all just standing there, you know, smoking and joking. Somebody came by, and whether he was the right guy or not, they came by and he got shot right in the melon.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
So it doesn't matter what street you turn on, at some point there's some gang influence there.
Well, there's danger on every corner.
Essentially,
yeah. Who wants to live with that?
Ron gets a call about a bust a few blocks away. Officers spotted a known gang member acting suspiciously as they drove past his house. First on the scene was Officer Steve McLean, and both the gang member and the property are well known to the cops.
It's one of our regular stops we check on here. It's notorious for selling drugs back here. Been in this particular apartment before for weapons violations. We've recovered assault rifles from this room. Anyway, when we came down here today, we recognised the probationer. Just stepping out of the house, saw us, slams the door back. There was a strong smell of marijuana. We covered the house for get some additional units because they're not opening the door, delaying our investigation.
The cops suspect he has relieved himself of the stash before they could get in.
He flushed it, did he? Yeah. He had a toilet flush, so I imagine they're flushing the dog down the toilet, and that's where we are right now. We got nothing. We've cleared the house for people, conducted a probation search, and nothing.
This is the 60s Brim Blood Gang. This is their area. So he's a documented gang member, and he's one of the ones that actually sells dope for benefit of that gang.
Steve and I have something in common. He's an expat pounding the beat in LA. After a stint in the British Army, he came over here and joined up with the cops.
This is our British LAPD cop. Don't get many of them to the pound. Where are you from?
Brighton.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've got some mates there. I used to run a Brighton Dogs.
Oh, right.
I used to have a few dogs there, yeah.
I imagine my brother wasted some money on your dogs then.
Yeah, he's a dog man, is he? Or just a gambler?
Dogs, yeah, gambler.
Dogs, horses,
Ex-gambler, football.
Yeah.
He's a dirty player like you.
Not now. See? Reputations.
This time, Steve hasn't got his man, but he's not deterred.
Today, he stays out. We'll catch him next week.
Catching gangsters is not easy, because in the battle against the gangs, the odds are always stacked up against the police.
There's 12 of us working against
2,000.
2,000.
Yeah.
So you could have every gang officer in the city working, and you're still outnumbered 5 to 1, 6 to 1.
But despite this numerical disadvantage, the 77th Gang Unit is getting results. In recent years, they have had great success in getting illegal guns off the streets.
Our unit has taken more guns off the street than any other gang unit in the entire city. Last year, we took almost 200 guns off the street. The year before, we took 250 guns off the street. I think this year we're at about, I want to say about 120 so far this year. So, I mean, in 2.5 years, that's almost 600 guns we've taken off the street. So, you average it out, we're at better than one every 2 days.
Drug-related crime is an ongoing battle for the cops in LA. Latest figures show that seizures of cocaine are up 150%, marijuana 200%, and methamphetamines are a staggering 1,000%. I'm back on the streets with Sergeant Lopez, and it's not long before I see for myself an example of LA's drug problem.
I have nothing at all.
The cops have spotted some young gang members selling drugs on the street corner. For these guys, the day's business is over.
Chris and Steve have come around the corner, 2 lads on the thing here, probably lookouts, bolted in here, so they've stopped running after them. This kid and this other kid were around the side here, and as they saw the cops, he's gone bosh and smashed it into his mouth, and they tried to get him down and get that out and that.
But in his desperation, the juvenile has swallowed his stash of crack.
I think they're about to call the paramedics now because he's 13 and he swallowed it. So it's now turned into a major incident now.
Yeah, he just told us he swallowed rock cocaine. He won't tell us how much, though. He said he swallowed a baggie, but he's not sure how much is in there.
He's admitted that he's took it now, but he still won't tell him how much.
Normally, adults can handle it, but it depends on the quantity they swallow. Can have a pretty adverse, make them pretty sick.
The cops can't take any chances, so the boy is taken to hospital in handcuffs as his surprised father looks on.
Hey, you swallow some dope?
I take that look away as an admission of guilt.
My son ain't swallowed no dope. I don't care what you say, you can take it as admission or whatever, but I know my son ain't swallowed no fucking drugs.
His dad came out there. He said to him, you swallowed dope, and he can't even answer his dad. He just looked away, which is so sad. You know, you can see the situation we're in here, which ain't the best. He's already involved, 14 years old, you know. So, you know, he's a victim of the gangs, you know, and hopefully if he gets a stomach pump, he won't do it again. So, we'll go on anyway.
I was born by a river, hey, in a little tea, oh, just like a river I've been running. Damn right.
The age of some of these gang members has shocked me. Many of them seem barely into their teens. One of the main problems in tackling gang crime is that there is always a steady supply of recruits ready to sign up.
I see all these guys hanging out right here in front. Yeah. They're all gangsters or gangsters' family. Yeah. For the older guys, it's easier or beneficial to recruit the younger up-and-comers, so to speak. Say, okay, hey, you want to earn your stripes? Go out. You know, anybody who's deemed to be or labeled a shooter, in other words, someone who will go out and actually shoot someone, has instant credibility amongst their gang. Because not every gang member has the guts or the backbone to go out and do a shooting.
They need to make sure that any possible gang activity is nipped in the bud. Keeping on top of gang problems is all about suppressing their activities, being proactive and not reactive. We've been called to a stop search of a known gang member.
These guys, Vinnie, they're both on parole, which means they have search conditions. So at any time they're stopped by any police officer in California, they're subject to search, their car is subject to search, as well as their house.
The man claims to no longer be a gang member.
Ain't nothing. I be in school every day.
What are you studying?
Business science.
Where at?
El Camino.
Yeah?
But the cops suspect he is still a major player.
The intelligence that we have on the older of the two with the ponytails, he's a member of the 8 Trey Hoover Gangster Crips. He's been a member since 1985. Because of the amount of time he has in the gang, he has instant credibility on the street. And if he was to tell a new member to do something, they would do it out of respect for him and his position of authority. Because of his time in the gang and seniority, so to speak, he's one of the shot callers supplying a lot of narcotics in the area, as well as he's one of the go-to guys for guns. So the likelihood of us one day stopping him and having a gun in the car is there.
The search has found nothing and the man is released. But like many who claim to be reformed gangsters, he's very much on the cops' radar. It's not too difficult for the cops to spot gang members, as they are easily identified by their tattoos, although some are in the most unusual places.
Aaron just got put on, so he's tattooed his eyelids. That's brand new. When'd you get that done?
I can't tell you.
Well, this week.
It's like 6, 7.
What does that mean?
Neighborhood crip.
Christian got put on when he was, what, 13, 14? He put on? He went for a boot camp where my partner was an instructor. Anyway, part of the deal was he gets his tattoos removed, but he's still hanging out. He's from 6, 7 neighborhood crips, so he's got 6, 7 on each.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Here he has his rival gangs, hand sign whacked out. That means fuck Hoovers.
How many times have you been shot? I don't even know. I lost count. But it's bullet holes every fucking where. Look at the telephone. Look at the cars. But it's cool though. I don't even want them to find them if I get killed. I don't care.
Is it a dangerous place to live?
Hell yeah, it's the most dangerous place on earth.
How high were you when you did that?
I wasn't sober.
You were sober? Really?
It's all right.
What'd your mom say?
My mama dead. She ain't say shit.
Good thing.
Not really.
Take off.
England, bro.
Take what off?
Take off.
England, bro.
I was about to say, y'all looking at my ass again? He told me to spread my cheeks and bend over. Him and his other homie.
If you truly want to disconnect, you can. You can go get your gang tattoos removed, or you can get them covered up, and you can change your lifestyle if you choose to do it. But as long as you're in the neighborhood and you're still dressing and wearing the colors and flying your tattoos, then you're not out of the game no matter what you say.
But when your face is covered with them, that's easier said than done. I've come to a project called Homeboy, which for many gang members is a way out from life on the streets. The project gives gang members opportunities to rehabilitate themselves, which includes a free tattoo removal service.
These people just come in. Anybody off the street can just walk in?
Anyone off the street can come in. If your tattoos are gang related and they're like on your face, the front of your neck or your head, you know, you're obviously a walking target. So we try to get you in as soon as we can. Even if you were to stop by today, we'll try to get you in today.
I'll have to get around to it one day.
Yeah, think about it.
Today, gang member Ishmael De Santiago is in the chair. The ink is lasered out of his skin in a process which has been described as having hot chip fat hitting your face.
Stay in there, bro.
It's okay. It's all right. The body can only take so much sometimes.
The laser sends short pulses of intense light into the top layers of the skin. The energy breaks the ink into small pieces, which are later naturally removed by the body's immune system. Tattoos are painful enough going on. It's even worse taking them off.
Go on, bro. What you're doing, man, is a massive thing. I really applaud you, honestly, big time. What is this? What is the gang?
London.
Is that a big organisation?
It's all right, you know.
Will they say to you, what are you doing?
They'll probably get disappointed, you know, but...
You just got to say, I'm moving on.
I'm moving on. The only time I see them, is when I come to prison, but that's something I don't...
You done with prison now?
I just got out like 3 weeks ago, so...
Good for you, man. Wish you all the best, man.
Thank you.
All right, so go next door, they'll bandage you up. Then they give you some aftercare.
Thank you very much. Bye. Thank you next time. Thank you, doctor. Really appreciate it.
To take tats off your face is, I mean, the pain is ridiculous, you know, and I just, you know, commend them for that. And that is the loveliest thing, what I've been getting from here today, is their start, and it's the start of my new life. You know, he's probably got 8 or 9 more treatments, but he's 24 and his life's just started. What's that all about? You know, best years of my life was up to about 24, I think. You know? And that, you know, they're starting again, so it's fantastic.
Out the back, I meet Eddie, one of the managers here at Homeboy. He explains how gang life was inevitable for him.
I've been through the whole system, juvenile hall, YA, prison, you name it, I've been through it.
How long you done in prison?
5 years altogether. I've been shot multiple times.
How old was you when you first got shot?
18.
Yeah.
You know, I got shot right here. I got shot right here. It was a rival gang, and I was about to go to a spot, score some more dope to be able to sell it.
Yeah.
Right? And before I even got there, I got shot. They were standing outside the car, and they just started shooting. They knew who I was because of the dirt I've done. They shot me from in the car, and then when I was on the ground, they came and shot me 4 times in the stomach.
What, with a 2-2?
2.5. And I still got 1 bullet left in me.
Because it's better to leave it in than take it out?
It was too close to the artery to my heart.
Do you think the main problem is drugs? Do you think that's the main cause of all the violence?
Yeah, it has to do with that. It has to do with that. Because you could come up to somebody, they might be high off their ass. You don't even know them, they might have a gun on them. And that's it, you're done.
I'm in Los Angeles, the 2nd largest city in the United States. And I'm here with the cops of the LAPD's gang unit who patrol the notorious 77th District. This city, where I now live, is the home of Hollywood and the film industry. But back in 1992, it provided the backdrop for an event that made Die Hard and the Terminator look like a tea party. Armageddon came to Los Angeles as the worst rioting America had ever witnessed was played out on the streets. For 6 days, thousands of Angelenos rioted. There was widespread looting, assault and arson. Damage to property was estimated at $1 billion. 2,000 people were injured and 53 were killed. But the murder rate today in the 77th District is on the decline. I'm with Dan Horan, LAPD officer with 27 years of experience. And he has seen firsthand the reduction in homicide on the streets.
As of today, in the 77th Street Division, the 11 square miles, we've had 17 murders. And probably 10 or 15 years ago, for the year, we had over 160. So that just, if we could finish the year with less than 35, that's borders on the miraculous.
But even though gang-related murders are decreasing, the cops cannot afford to get complacent, especially at night. What's normally the more pressure from these gangs? Is it during the day, Dan, or is it more active in the evenings and at night?
There's probably twice as much gang crime during the hours of darkness as there is in the daytime. It's easier to caper at night. You get the cover of darkness to your advantage. So they're busier at night, so that's why we work at night.
Dan and his colleagues know there's a chance they might have to use their weapons. This year alone, the LAPD has confiscated 3,600 illegal weapons.
If you pull your gun, if there's, you know, a slim chance, I mean, for you to pull your gun, there's got to be some kind of danger. So that must be fear, adrenaline, terror, everything must be going through your mind. Plus you're focusing.
Well, for a police officer, I would hope it's not necessarily terror, but you have to be ready, because even though it's calm right now, within blocks of us, there are a lot of people who are criminals, gangsters who like to shoot each other, people who commit robberies and other violent crime, and everything can change in a moment's notice.
Yeah.
The radio can all of a sudden say there's a robbery in progress, there's a shooting in progress, or a shooting just occurred, and you're sitting at the intersection, and there go the suspects. The next thing you know, you're in a car chase.
Suddenly, we're on the trail of a well-known gangster. He is pulled over by the cops.
Go ahead. These guys here are obviously a couple of gangsters. They're from a gang called the Trey Hoovers. You notice the guy in the driver's seat, you see his baseball hat there with a star on it. I believe it's a Houston Astros cap. That's one of their emblems of that gang.
Approaching a vehicle can be very dangerous for a cop. They have to be on their guard.
They're known to carry guns. So you walk up in a car like that, you really have to be on your toes, because it's one of the most vulnerable times as a police officer. You could have a gun right here and you wouldn't know it till you're right up next to him. So, for 27 years, I've never gotten rid of the butterflies of walking up on a car, especially when it's driven by a couple of gangsters. How's the business going?
It's all right. I have no problem.
The gang member they have pulled over is someone they know well, and he isn't giving them any problems. It's strange, because as the car is searched, there's even time for a bit of banter.
The purpose of the documentary, what does that hat stand for?
Oh.
Trying to keep it real.
That's it. I'm going to keep it real with you. You already know.
Although there were no problems with the stop and search, Dan knows he can never afford to drop his guard.
Despite his relatively calm demeanor and respectful attitude, you still got to be careful with him.
So everything that you know that's gone on over the years and what you've heard that's happened to other officers, you take that into every situation, yeah?
Yeah, of course. But when you do make a mistake, you better learn from it. Hopefully you survive it. And most, in your field, you make a mistake, yeah, take two.
Yeah.
Around here, you make a mistake and there is no take two.
With this in mind, I'm even more cautious as we respond to a gang-related call.
Clear from article. So,
what is that shit?
The officer stopped these three individuals here. They're gang members. They're behaving suspiciously. One of them behaved as though he might have had a gun.
It's a tense situation, and I get the feeling trouble could kick off at any moment.
They didn't do nothing.
Don't come over here. She's all right. She's all right. Don't come over here. You'll wind it up.
That's my brother.
That's what she wants to. She wants to make a big scene, so don't bring the camera over.
I believe these guys are Rolling 40s Crips, which is the gang that claims this neighborhood here. Then we're going down the street to the parolee. His house is right down the block. We're going to his house. The parole agent is going to, we're all going to conduct a search to make sure he doesn't have any guns or drugs or anything else he's not supposed to have.
The cops search the suspect's house.
Anybody inside, step out.
But in the end, they find nothing. One of the suspects is being taken in because he gave the cops a false name. But he doesn't seem too bothered. He's more interested in talking movies.
Just the guy in the movies. Hey, shake my hand.
I'll get arrested.
I seen Snatch. Yeah.
I had a real gun then. Desert Eagle .50.
Desert Eagle? Nah, I only got 8 shots.
What movie you was in?
I've been in a lot of movies, man.
I want to watch it tonight.
He got good access.
I don't think they've got TV where you're going, dude.
You sound like that. You sound like that. I'll kill you, bro. I'm just saying, like,
They're drunk. They're really drunk.
Hey, give me a card.
A card? I don't have a card.
I can call you or something, you know?
All right, man. You take it easy.
You too, man.
The work of the cops in LA is not all about gangs. Like everywhere, they have to deal with the potentially dangerous domestic calls. In 2008, cops were called to a house where an armed man had barricaded himself inside. He'd called the police saying that he had killed 3 relatives.
The caller indicated that he had killed 3 of his family members. West Valley patrol units responded to conduct the investigation. The suspect refused to leave the home, and LAPD SWAT was called to the scene.
There followed a standoff, during which gunfire was exchanged between the man and the police. One officer was killed and another one was seriously injured. I'm back with Ron Lopez and we're on our way to a domestic. They've had a report of a serious incident at a private address.
We just got a call. There's a party with 40 or 50 males there and a gunshot. Someone said a gunshot's been heard, so...
The original call was for one shot being heard, and then the second call was for the party. So one of my units has already just arrived there at scene, so we'll head that way and see what we get.
A male teenager has a serious head wound. Nobody seems to want to tell the cops what happened. They just want an ambulance.
We have some type of stabbing, maybe a knife, maybe a bottle, family party, but they're refusing to say anything because they're saying we don't know what happened. Well, ask him what happened. Well, we don't care what happened right now. We just want an ambulance. That's all we're getting so far.
We already called the ambulance, okay?
I'm not letting go till you guys bring him.
Thank you.
I'm not letting go. No, it's too big. No.
Let me see how bad.
I don't put pressure on anything and bleed.
Let me see
no.
it.
Okay. No, are you EMT?
Actually,
no.
yeah.
No, I'm not. No.
They're right here, man, so give it a minute.
Everybody back up. Back up.
The boy has been stabbed with a bottle in the back of the neck. He got involved in a dispute with 2 guys his sister had gone off with.
It is. I like 142. My blood pressure is always bad. Go over there, dog. Let them do what they're gonna do.
Apparently she was in a car. They want to go get her. I don't know, they had a confrontation with some of her friends. And apparently he said that somebody told him that I guess they hit him, or I don't know, they started fighting. I don't know what happened. But either he got stopped in the head. I don't know, I was in the bathroom. I just came out and he told me that my brothers were fighting, which is my little brother. He's only fucking 15. So I don't know what's going on right now.
And I just spoke to his sister there, and she said he went round a couple of blocks around the corner to get his little sister who's drunk to bring her back, and she was in a car with some fellas. The next minute it went off, and somebody ran up to him and said, "You're bleeding from the back." He didn't know. And maybe he said, "Get out of the car, come home, because you're drunk." And he's been whacked for it. I mean, he's got a gash out of his back. I mean, could have been a bullet in the side of the head, you know?
It's the early hours now, and there's a report that some drug dealers have been operating on a street corner. When we arrive, air support has been drafted in to try and track them.
The boys are just saying when they turned up, there was a couple of people that ran off. 2 that way, 2 that way. So they couldn't find anything here, so they've called in the helicopter to look onto the roof. Check for dope packages or guns.
The dealers use the bushes to pass over the merchandise to the buyers.
We pulled a good bit of dope out of this bush right here. One of the older guys from this hood was selling dope here.
So they're just whizzing here and then put their arm in the bush, huh?
Yeah, you can kind of see like the holes and stuff that they'll put like sometimes they'll use like a condom, stick it, you know, just stick it right there, so that if you drive by, it just looks like they're hanging out. And then
what do? They park gear, they get the gear, give it to them, and they're gone.
Yeah, that's how they were doing it.
But it's not only the drugs that can be bad for your health. Picking them up can be deadly.
Just be careful. There's a whole shitload of black widow spiders over there. So
is there?
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
There aren't any gangsters around, but there are a few black widow spiders. It's definitely time to call it a night. I'm in Los Angeles with the cops of the LAPD Special Gang Unit. I'm in the 77th District, a part of the city renowned for its high levels of gang activity. I'm out on patrol with Sergeant Ron Lopez, and although it feels not much is happening, he always keeps a ready eye.
So even though, you know, we're cruising around at the moment, relatively quite quiet, you still wait for that call and then you're just 100% back in that mode.
You're still always, like you just said, you know, trying to pick up on what's going on, waiting for that, you know, call to come out or waiting for something to happen right in front of you.
Because in this city, anything is possible. Sometimes life imitates art, as in the case of this robbery in North Hollywood that resembled an action movie. Two men armed with automatic weapons and over 3,000 rounds of ammunition stole $300,000 from Bank of America. After leaving the bank, they engaged LAPD officers in a firefight and attempted their getaway in a car. As one drove, the other fired on police. They split up, and one continued firing on the police with his Beretta pistol. He was shot in the hand and dropped his weapon. When he picked it up, he placed the muzzle under his chin and shot himself, as a round from a police officer's handgun simultaneously severed his spine. With the tires of the getaway car blown out, the second robber tried to steal a truck, but was unable to start it. Taking cover, he continued his firefight with the cops until he was shot in his unprotected lower legs and surrendered. But by the time the ambulance arrived, he was dead.
What happened, guys came in with guns, started shooting, started screaming. I went in the vault, I prayed, I did what I could to help others if they needed to, and I'm here talking to you guys today.
Multiple civilians and officers were wounded in the robbery. Incredibly, no officer was killed. But in the past 8 years, 8 LAPD officers have been killed in the line of duty. So the cops' families have it tough too. I'm back out with Ron Lopez, who has a wife and children.
Wives that have got guys on the job like you, I mean, it's, especially night work, I would imagine it's quite hairy for them.
She's been with me since just before I came on the job. So this is all she's ever known, is me doing this line of work.
Do you think she worries?
Deep down, she does. If she didn't, then I might be a little concerned.
Yeah.
You know, I have the same routine every day before I go to work. You know, I make sure I give the kids a kiss goodbye every single day, whether they're happy with their dad at the time or not.
One thing I've learned is that the cops in LA are always on their guard, no matter how innocuous a situation may appear.
These are all rolling 60s. What's up, man?
Oh, I want to be on camera.
Hey, the way you were just dancing, I figured you wanted to be a superstar.
As the evening draws in, more gang members are stopped, more tattoos are checked. Today's been quiet. No shots have been fired and nobody's got hurt. So for the cops, it's been a good day.
We've got a different approach, but I just get a feeling that they're a little bit on top of it here, and just them being around at the moment is keeping everything quiet, which is a good thing. With
proactive tactics and an approach that focuses on suppressing gang violence before it can escalate, the cops of the 77th District are achieving their aims. So far this year, the murder rate is at its lowest for more than 60 years. It seems that the law is starting to wrestle back control of the streets from the gangs.
America, a country with some of the most brutal criminals in the world. And fighting back are some of the world's toughest cops. Yeah, he's round the back. I had a shot in there. It's a job where murder, drug wars and gun crime are part of everyday life. A job where doing your duty could cost you your life.
They're running, they're running, they're running! Run! We got one!
Now I'm joining some of these cops on the front line in the battle against the bad guys. We got him.
Yeah.
For 4 weeks, I've travelled across America, going to 4 cities, rolling with some of the country's toughest cops. I've experienced what it's like going on a SWAT raid in Laredo.
Go on, boys! There he is, there's one there! There's one there!
I've discovered teenage gunmen roaming the streets in New Orleans.
You know you shouldn't be having a gun at 16, though.
I've trained with the SWAT team in Baltimore.
We got him.
Yeah.
And I've patrolled with the notorious gang unit in Los Angeles. I've tasted their highs and felt their lows, and even taken them on in the ring to earn my place in the patrol car. It's been an emotional journey where I've embedded myself with the cops, trying to understand what it takes to do this job, day in, day out.
Sooner or later, they'll end up getting caught.
This is my story as I walk the beat with America's toughest cops. In each of the cities I went to, I learned how dangerous it was for the cops on patrol to do their job. Facing down gun-wielding criminals when we stepped out of the car was always tense for me. But I also got to go out with the highly trained cops in each city, the people who the beat cops bring in when they need backup. SWAT, or special weapons and tactics, are who the cops call when the going gets really tough. I went to the SWAT training ground in Baltimore to speak to the boys and to find out what it takes to become an elite cop. Officer Zach Wine shows me through some of their arsenal.
Standard handgun, 40 caliber. We carry our handgun. We have lights on the front. This is a 20-inch shotgun. If you hold them up,
20 gauge?
20-inch.
Yeah.
They're all 12 gauges, but you can see by the barrel length that you can shoot a little further, a little more distance with this. But as far as like an entry weapon, this is a 14-inch. You see how much shorter it is? So when you're going in a house, it's much easier to swing through hallways, but it's going to spread a lot quicker. This is a G36. It fires 223 rounds. There's the magazine for it. Holds 30. It's
plastic, huh? Great sound, that, huh?
The Sarge then said I could have a go on the range with the SWAT issue machine gun.
Just take this over your left shoulder and around your head. There you go. Just like that, okay. And then I'm sure you've handled a weapon before, so just like that. You have your aim point here.
Yeah.
One click down, semi-automatic. So you pull the trigger, it'll just fire one round.
Right.
Both click down, so if you go all the way down,
yeah.
If you pull the trigger, you hold the trigger back, it'll discharge until you're out of ammo. Okay. Keep that red dot right in the center of his chest and just pull back nice and slow. And hold the trigger back. That's it, that's it.
Now the Sarge lets me see how deadly this weapon really is.
All right, so go fully automatic, all the way down, 1, 2. Just hold it to the rear and let it ride, okay?
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
Whoa!
There you go. Weapon on safe. There you go. Okay, good. Okay. There you go.
Thanks.
You're very welcome.
That's a nice little rush, isn't it?
Yeah,
something, isn't it?
We got him anyway.
Yeah. Did you? Very good.
That's it. That's where he said I had to get inside. So I think there's one out there, but he got it there. And then this was the semi. Look, one right there.
It's all very well firing at paper targets, but what if I was faced with the real thing? After one day on the training ground, I felt I could handle myself if it got a bit messy. But unfortunately, they wouldn't let me loose with a gun just yet. In Laredo, Texas, on the border with Mexico, we receive a call that the SWAT team were going to raid a home of a jailed Pistolero gang member. I felt ready, but didn't realise how close to the action I was going to get. The Pistoleros control the gun smuggling in Laredo. The police jailed one of its leaders in 2006, Roy Mendoza. They now have a warrant to search his family home for drugs and weapons. Mendoza's son is thought to be living there, although he has no previous convictions. This is Joaquin Romero, the leader of the entry team. He's 31 with 8 years service under his belt.
When you get there, you're going to give him a chance to come out, or you're just going in?
No, we're just going hard. Me and my team, we're going to tear the gate down. And then after that, everybody's going to make entry through the hole that we make. And then there's no warning.
No warning, just bang.
No, yeah, that gives them a chance to get anything that they might have ready. So this is like a hard entry.
The real thing, man. So he's just told me that they're basically going to go straight in, no negotiations. They've just said I can go in the front line with the boys. So the lads that are going in first, hopefully there won't be any shooting, but if there's any shooting, that's when it's going to happen. So I'm going to go in with them and hope this holds up.
The surveillance team at the location have given the green light and we're on our way. I'm about to ride in their armoured truck known as the Bearcat.
Just so Gazza knows, I've got me pad, Gazza. That's what you should have had, mate. In '87.
The Bearcat's job is to destroy the gates at the front of the location. These boys' job is to storm out and put themselves in the firing line, and then to make entry into the target house.
Great, it's exciting, real exciting. You can tell the boys are buzzing, they're buzzing. Getting close now. There's a lookout there. He's on the phone. There's the Escalade and the red car up there. Showtime. We're in it. Showtime, guys. Go on, boys. Let's go. Go, 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 go. Right there, right beside him. They're rigging the gates up. They're going to pull the gates up. There it goes. Here goes the gates. Go, 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 guys. Go. There it is. There's one there. There's one there. Oh, the car's going. The car's going. Look. Oh, fuck. We've got the car there. We've got this car down there. They're in. Is he the one we're looking for?
One guy here. One guy right here.
I think he's a lookout. They've secured the car. There's firing going on in here. I had a shot in there. They've got everything covered, all the windows. Shit, the adrenaline's unbelievable. Was the guy in the Escalade the target? Was he the target, or was he just a lookout? He's the target, so he was already in the car. They jumped out, they hooked up onto the main gate, reversed it out, pulled that out. He's sitting in this truck in the car. So the lookout guy that we passed must have told him. So he was in the car, but we all pulled up. Looks like he's gone to put it in reverse. He's then got out. They see him, get out, he comes running out. The SWAT guy that we was with just went over and just jumped all over him, got him, secured him down. But the car, he grabbed him out, but the car kept going. So the sergeant pulled up behind him and blocked him in and crashed straight into his car.
Now it's time to look for drugs and weapons that are allegedly here.
Hey, Vinny, the quintessential poster for every bad guy's house.
Yeah, I got that in my house. Really nice house. You know, if he hasn't got a job, this is unbelievable. You can smell marijuana in it. He was a target, yeah. Saw his big tattoo there that we saw in the briefing room. Mendoza, that's his name. You got more DVDs than me, bro.
Man, look for yours.
I did, there's not there.
Did you find it?
No. I thought you was my pal.
There you are, man. Now I could shake on it. Nice meeting you, man.
The cops haven't found any guns or drugs.
The only shit that I'm gonna say, I already knew everything that they were coming.
Yeah.
It's because they talk too much. Fucking, they say we're gonna go and hit this. They talk too much to their girlfriends. You see, they talk too much to their girlfriends.
Yeah.
Their girlfriends go and tell their daughter. Their daughter goes and tells me, and they talk too many shit. So that's how everybody knows.
In a small city where word gets around quickly, it's tough for the cops to keep things quiet. On this occasion, Mendoza Jr. is officially charged with resisting arrest, and he has to be released before nightfall. At the time of the filming, his case had yet to go to court. But SWAT isn't all about knocking down doors and throwing flashbang grenades. In Baltimore, the SWAT situation didn't call for an aggressive approach.
This guy's barricaded himself in up this side street. They reckon he's got a machete and a gun. He's done time in Vietnam. He's about 60 years old. And there's the armoured car there. You can just see the SWAT guys here up the side. Come in.
Hey, we want to move out of the line of sight altogether. If he has a long rifle, you want to be out of line of sight so you can't shoot you.
Can't shoot somebody, yeah.
Well, especially you, yeah.
Well, he might not have liked my films, John.
Maybe he wants an autograph.
The negotiators move in, backed up by the SWAT team.
The amazing thing is, they've just gone there now, them boys, and they're in full lock and load mode to shoot this guy. I wouldn't like to be that geezer now, I'll tell you that.
After 4 hours of negotiations and failing to persuade the suspect to leave the house, SWAT command try another method: tear gas.
We're about 60 yards away and they've put the tear gas in there. It's horrible, right, gets right in your throat, makes you sneeze. I don't know how he's still in there.
The tear gas has forced a man to give up, and the siege comes to an end. In Baltimore, I learned that SWAT isn't just all about gun-ho aggression. Negotiating is often the cop's best tactic.
He seems a tough bastard, though, doesn't he? Really? He's got cuts and bruises everywhere. They just said to him, "You all right?" He said, "Well, I'm breathing."
I've been rolling with some of America's toughest cops in 4 cities across the country. Drugs were a problem wherever I went. It felt like every time we arrested someone or we were called to a crime scene, narcotics was somehow involved. It's estimated that across the United States, an average of 68% of people arrested test positive for drugs. In New Orleans, the challenge for the police comes from those who will try anything to evade capture. I was riding with Officer John Barbetti, patrolling the streets of one of its toughest neighborhoods, when the car up ahead refused to stop.
He's running. We got a runner. We got a runner.
We're traveling at nearly 100 miles an hour, but still the suspect's car ahead is leaving us in a cloud of dust.
Hold on. Yeah.
Yeah, we're chasing a car right now. He's running from the police. Just gotta watch these intersections.
It's so dusty, we can't see a lot.
Up ahead, the suspect's car turns right, so John takes an earlier route, and we see if we can head him off. As we wait for the car to emerge, the chasing unit radio, and they tell us that the wanted men have crashed and they're now on foot.
Is he running, John?
Yeah, he's on foot. He's right out here someplace. Keep an eye on behind us.
Yeah.
5400 blocker. You go get a 5400 block.
I scoured the houses looking for a sign of the two suspects.
There, across the road.
Just ahead, I spot one of them run in front of us, and he's heading into the bushes.
Is in the rear yard.
In there, huh?
Yeah, he cut across. He's on Royal. 2100, going back toward St. Claude. Stop, back up, go back! Come here! Get down! Get down! Get down!
With Barbetti in the bushes chasing the suspect, someone needs to get round the side and head him off.
Yeah, he's round the back.
You need to set up a perimeter. Somebody need to call out the name. What are they wearing?
You got him back there?
Thankfully, another unit is there to tackle him down. Otherwise, I'd have notched up my first takedown.
Go the other way, man. Go the other way. What street are we on? Hey, we right now, we're between Royal and...
Oof, that was the real stuff. John just said to me, keep an eye out behind. I look behind, I just see him run across the street behind us. When he was going so fast, any little kids, anything, you'd have just killed him in seconds. They got the one, yeah.
Yeah, we flushed it.
The one we saw coming.
I saw him. I couldn't get back to that fence fast enough. I got whaled in the face with a tree branch.
I just saw him out the corner of my eye, just running across the street.
That was a good one. I said, I looked back and I saw you say, I look at it.
It was later revealed that the suspect and his accomplice had dumped the stash of marijuana after crashing. The suspects were lucky to escape uninjured after the chase, and it was all over a small bag of weed and a stolen car.
You make you nervous?
It's estimated that 20% of all inmates in US jails committed their offence to obtain money for drugs. I learned that they go to any lengths to prevent the police from catching them with their stash, even when the amounts are small. In Los Angeles, the street dealers have learnt another way to evade arrest when the police approach. I was on patrol with Sergeant Ron Lopez when one of the accompanying units spotted something suspicious.
Not having nothing at all.
Two young gang members are selling drugs on a street corner. For these guys, the day's business is over. Chris and Steve have come around the corner, two lads on the thing here, probably lookouts, bolted in here, so they've stopped running after them. This kid and this other kid were round the side here, and as they saw the cops, he's gone bosh and smashed it into his mouth, and they tried to get him down and get it out and that. But in his desperation, the juvenile has swallowed his stash of crack. They're about to call the paramedics now because he's 13 and he swallowed it. So it's now turned into a major incident now.
Yeah, he just told us he swallowed rock cocaine. He won't tell us how much, though. He said he swallowed a baggie, but he's not sure how much is in there.
He's admitted that he's took it now, but he still won't tell them how much.
Normally, adults can handle it, but it depends on the quantity they swallow. It can have a pretty adverse, make them pretty sick.
The cops can't take any chances, and so the boy is taken to hospital in handcuffs as his surprised father looks on.
Hey, you swallowed some dope?
I take that look away as an admission of guilt.
My son ain't swallowed no dope. I don't care what you say. You can take it as admission or whatever, but I know my son ain't swallowed no fucking drugs.
His dad came out there. He said to him, you swallowed dope, and he can't even answer his dad. He just looked away, which is so sad. You know, you can see the situation we're in here, which ain't the best. He's already involved, 14 years old, you know. Daddy. So, you know, he's a victim of the gangs, you know, and hopefully if he gets a stomach pump, he won't do it again. So, we'll go on anyway. It was scary to see the lengths that these kids were going to not to be arrested. But I was also learning what a challenge it was for the cops to deal with this level of drug crime. It's seen that to prevent this problem on America's streets, the supply needed to be cut. In Laredo, Texas, the drugs are in transit to the lucrative city markets. The drugs that are smuggled across the border first go to stash houses before being moved north to the marketplace. Sheriff's cop Jesse Jimenez was on the scene when one's busted in East Laredo.
We discovered some 5 kilos of cocaine, a little bit of marijuana.
The undercover workers led the cops to a big score. These drugs won't be making it to any street dealers.
That is cocaine. Each one of these squares is approximately 2.2 pounds, kilo of cocaine. Street value? Here in Laredo, it's about 15,000 a kilo, and upstate can be, or up north in other northern states can be anywhere from 30 to 45,000 a kilo. Yeah, then on top of the pantry. Usually they've been sent out from cartels in Mexico. That is marijuana. That's marijuana. You're looking at roughly maybe 7 to 10 pounds of marijuana. That was found up in the attic. Just verifying to see if it's cocaine. I'm gonna take it back to and test those packages to see if it tests positive for narcotics. Yeah, it definitely feels good. Taking drugs off the street feels good.
The US government spends over $20 billion every year on the war against drugs, and one person is arrested for violating drug laws every 17 seconds. In Baltimore, drug-related offences are directly linked to over 2/3 of crime in the city. When I was on patrol, I spotted something kicking off.
Oh, fine. Yeah.
Just call 911. Yeah, just sit tight for me, fellas. Right there.
I just saw this guy grab him and just smash him.
Yes. What's going on?
I'm the father. I'm the father. He's got a warrant on him in Baltimore County for breaking into my business. Today, he decided to break in my house, and he stole my truck, a $50,000 truck.
You have anything on you that I should know about?
You got a need.
Oh, man, if you do, we're going to find it anyway, so don't make it even harder. Why are you taking your dad's truck?
I have a heroin addiction.
He's jacked out of his head. They're saying that he's wanted in another county.
In Essex, I heard that.
And here, actually, what the guys are saying is he hasn't actually done anything here to arrest him for.
He stole from my house today. I understand it's in Hartford County, though. There's no way you can detain him.
It seems to me that what this kid needs is help, but his dad is intent on getting him locked up. I want to know why he feels that jail is the only way to sort his son out.
You know, jail's no good for him. He's got all them things. He's gonna, he's gonna die.
I know it, man. It's my kid. It breaks my heart. It breaks my heart to have to put him in jail. But you know what? At least I know where he is and he's safe.
Got a chance.
He's got a chance in jail. He don't have a chance. I tried telling him before. So, I mean, he's a good-hearted kid, but you know what? The drugs are killing him. And it's such a shame.
Yeah, I know.
And you know what? It's out of control down there. It's off the hook in Baltimore. You picked the right place to come find the violence.
With no grounds to hold the young man, the police encourage his father to take control of the situation.
They're going to release you to me. I'm putting you in Bill's truck and you ain't getting out because we're locking you in the back.
I'm sick of living like this.
Okay, I understand you're sick of living like this, but every time I try to get you help, you don't want it.
The father now says he simply wants to take his son to the nearest hospital, hopefully to get him some treatment for his addiction. His son says he'll be happy to do that, and that's where we are now.
Hopefully he'll go and get him some treatment. That would be a big plus.
I've been on a journey across America, rolling with the cops who tackle crime in 4 of America's toughest cities. Out on SWAT duty, I experience the adrenaline that these boys taste every time they go on a raid. But I also learned how difficult it is dealing with the crimes caused by drugs. But it wasn't difficult to pin the blame for most of the crime on the gangsters who control the trade. And in South Central LA, the gangs are notorious. LA is home to 2 of the most infamous gangs in the world, the Bloods and the Crips. And their main business is the drug trade. The Bloods and the Crips are the city's black gangs. Added into the mix are the numerous Hispanic gangs. In the last 25 years, more than 10,000 gang members have been killed. The highest concentration of gang activity in the city is in the notorious 77th district, and that's where I'm headed. I'm going to be riding with Sergeant Ron Lopez deep into the heart of the 77th district gangland. Some gang members who are on parole have been spotted drinking at a house party, and they're breaking the conditions of their release.
We know there's gang members in the party that are on probation and parole. They're not supposed to be hanging out together.
It might not sound dangerous, but it's a potential tinderbox situation that could escalate into something far bigger.
Other reason for breaking up gang parties is that it allows rival gangs to have a good target.
A few blocks away, the cops plan their raid on the gathering.
On the southwest corner, there's a lookout out there. He's dressed in black, the black cap on. So we've been seeing him up and down the street all night, just driving around. So
we're gonna jam everybody up and put them all against the east side of the building.
They're not taking any chances.
All right, saddle up.
Every actor should have one of these.
If everybody's still there, pertaining to the information we got during the little briefing right now, should be a pretty good hit.
A lot of drinking, a lot of booze, a lot of drugs, possible guns.
All of the above are very likely in a situation like this. What our guys will be paying specific attention for is that one or two guys that try to make a break for it on the back side of the group. The potential to be very dangerous.
The boys seem quite keyed up for it. They like all this, do they?
They affectionately refer to it as smashing.
Yeah.
We're gonna go smash a party. So.
As we get closer, we kill the lights.
You go ahead and kill the light.
And then hit the gas.
Hurry up and get some more right there. Everybody up. Go, hit the fence on your head. Let's go.
The party goers are lined up as the cops search the location for drugs and guns. But they find nothing, and the gang members they were looking for seem to have slipped off into the night.
They had surveillance that there was a few gang members there that they wanted to round up, but they think maybe the boys they were after slipped out. So it's a bit of after Lord Mayor's show a little bit. So we'll move on anyway.
For the cops, controlling crowds is an important skill, but sometimes people don't want to play ball, and when that happens, they need to be subdued. In Baltimore, Detective Donnie Moses and Officer Dave White got a call to help out some colleagues who were in a difficult situation.
Guy inside the house, tearing the house up, wrecking the house, and he has a knife with him.
The officers are on their way to a domestic disturbance where a young man is threatening his parents. Statewide this year alone, there have been 42 fatal shootings within family homes.
Stay on my hip, on my hip.
The young man is in the kitchen and still arguing, when without warning,
Bring him down to his face, on his stomach, on his stomach. Stop, on his stomach, on his stomach. No, stop.
the cops can't calm him down, so they decide to use an alternative measure.
Back up, back up, back up.
Stop him, pal.
All right, you gonna turn over.
Turn over, turn over, turn over.
They use a taser to stun the suspect. It shoots 2 hooked wires into the man's flesh, sending a 50,000-volt charge through his body. It will take the suspect several minutes to recover. Although it looks like rough justice, using a taser has brought the problem under control and allows the officers to secure the young man safely.
All right, 35, we have the individual in custody. No officers injured.
Young man apparently was giving his family members a problem. When we tried to gain control of him, tried to talk him out of his rage, it didn't appear to work. Ultimately, we had to tase him. Less than lethal use of force. Once we tased him, we handcuffed him, it's over.
The ambulance came and checked the individual out to make sure that he didn't have any life-threatening injuries. Then from there, right now, we're going to transport him to probably the local hospital. They have to take the prongs that were discharged from the taser. They have to take that out of his back and check his vitals. And then from there, he's going to be sent over to our centralized booking. That's where we process all prisoners. He's going to be charged with assault on police officers.
According to the makers, 170,000 suspects are tasered across the US every year. As a non-lethal response and an alternative to the gun, it's a no-brainer for the cops. Armed with a taser, they are less likely to have to use lethal force. But in New Orleans, they faced a lot of people who were in possession of firearms, and it felt much more dangerous. For my last night in the city, I was riding with Officer Dave Duplantier.
All right, turning right on. Yeah, turning right on 8.
As we drive through the city, Dave receives an urgent call, and the lights go on.
Talk to me, where you at?
What was that, bro?
They got a guy running on foot that bolted on him.
They got a little 75.
The worst call a cop can get is to hear a fellow officer is down or struggling with a suspect, because he knows to get away, he will use any means.
Right now they got a fight going on.
With some officers?
Yeah, they got some officers involved.
You good? Everybody good? When we arrive, the area's flooded with cops to patrol the situation, and 3 suspects have been apprehended. I'm told that as the officers went to apprehend the suspects, a gun was pulled, and after a brief struggle, it was thrown into a nearby alleyway. The number of units is justified as this street corner is at the center of a gang war. The suspects arrested are thought to be gang members, armed and ready to protect their turf. After checking the rear of the property, Dave makes an alarming discovery.
Right, female, date of birth.
Poor man's version of a Benelli, huh?
The gang had hidden a laser-sighted semi-automatic machine gun in the back garden. A sign that beefs or gang wars in this city are the real deal. In New Orleans, because many lawful citizens are permitted to carry and own guns, they are often taken in robberies. In the US, it's estimated that nearly 500,000 are stolen every year. With 3 suspects in custody and 2 weapons recovered, including a machine gun, the night's work would seem a success.
I'm not in no beef. You violated me bad, man. You got me bad.
But the challenge of dealing with so many young people with guns is troubling.
Nobody. Calm down. All right. Look around. Look at everybody right now in these cars and in handcuffs. Look at their faces. They're kids. They're children. And you see the hardware that they're carrying out there. The rifles, the guns.
That's the frightening thing, yeah. They got that, yeah, they pull the trigger. They don't know the consequences of what they're doing.
They don't. And people out there, they're killing each other like crazy, you know. That's the world we live in, you know. That's just how it is right now. It's sad.
It's estimated that up to 50% of teenagers drop out of high school across the state, and many turn to crime to get by.
They look so innocent when you arrest them, don't they?
The only thing you can tell them is death or jail. And guess what? They don't care about either one. Jail is almost like graduating from college for kids out here. It's a pin on their shirt. So they don't care about that. They just go do their time, learn in jail, and come back out and keep doing it.
As we leave yet another scene where teenagers have been arrested and weapons recovered, I'm left thinking that the job of Dave and all the cops in New Orleans is one I couldn't deal with day to day.
Just like in one night, let alone, you know, 1 week, the amount of guns that the lads are getting and the amount of guns they have to deal with and that threat, I just find phenomenal.
The gun situation is out of control. It really is. This is just a city where young, old, everybody's carrying a gun. It's almost like the Wild, Wild West.
It was heart-wrenching to see so many young kids feeling the need to go around with such firepower. In each city I went to, I saw how young the criminals involved in the crime business were, and I couldn't help feeling that at such a young age that they were also victims. But I also met some that didn't deserve my sympathy. Having rolled with some of America's toughest cops, I've discovered how difficult their job really is. But I also spoke to some of the suspects and criminals who had either been arrested or jailed.
You know you shouldn't be having a gun at 16, eh?
Here I learned that sometimes the innocent faces hid a much darker side.
I mean, a lot of the armed robberies and stuff like that, and even nowadays the murders, the perpetrators are getting younger and younger.
In Laredo, I went to the top security county jail, which was full to the brim with gang members who had been involved in the cross-border smuggling trade. Commander Juan Hernandez is in charge of this jail. He's going to introduce me to the prisoners. But first, I want to know what I'm up against.
What are the dangers, then?
The danger to you may be that that they're in jail for murder and things like that, and, you know, putting a feather in their cap by you know, striking a known person may be something that they won't think twice about. You okay?
Yeah.
Let's go out there.
He's scary enough, I don't let the others.
The commander's told me that the man I'm going to meet has committed murder for the cartels.
How you doing? How long have you got to do?
Right now?
Yeah.
How much time am I gonna do? 55 here.
55?
55.
I'm not gonna ask why. Man.
Yeah, they gave me 55 here and 50 running for her.
How long have you done?
Right now, since November 2007.
2007,
Yeah.
2 years.
Yeah, going 2 years.
Do they mean anything, your tattoos?
Oh, tattoos?
Yeah.
Only this one.
What does this one mean?
Again, Texas Syndicate.
That's your gang?
Yeah.
Are you everybody in that? Is everybody in the same gang?
No, it's not just friends.
Just friends?
Yeah, they gotta put the same people in the same tank.
Oh, they have to?
Yeah.
Oh, because you know you'd be...
No, we don't be, we're peace and everything, but they just for their own reasons, people. So they separate everybody.
Yeah. Well, wish you all the best, man.
All right.
The Mexican mafia are probably the toughest, but the pistoleros, they're the gun boys. They're actually the gun runners. But we were just talking in there, and he said the meanest of the mean, the baddest of the bad of this big area are in here, under his watchful eye.
Coming face to face with a cartel member in jail was nerve-wracking. This unassuming criminal is a convicted murderer responsible for overseeing the flood of drugs and guns into the United States. A business that is estimated to earn the Mexican cartels $25 billion a year. In Los Angeles, I got to meet the gang members at the other end of the drug distribution chain. And here they looked much more intimidating.
What's that shit?
It's not too difficult for the cops to spot gang members, as they are easily identifiable from their tattoos. Although some are in the most unusual places.
Aaron just got put on, so he's tattooed his eyelids. That's brand new. When'd you get that done?
I can't tell you.
Well, this week.
It's like 6, 7.
What was that name?
Neighborhood crib.
How many times have you been shot?
I don't even know. I lost count. But it's bullet holes every fucking where. Look at the telephone. Look. cars.
Why not?
But it's
You
cool
don't
though.
need
I don't even want them to find them if I get killed. I don't care.
It's a dangerous place to live.
Hell yeah, it's the most dangerous place on earth.
If you truly want to disconnect, you can. You can go get your gang tattoos removed, or you can get them covered up, and you can change your lifestyle if you choose to do it. But as long as you're in the neighborhood and you're still dressing and wearing the colors and flying your tattoos, then you're not out of the game no matter what you say.
But when your face is covered with them, that's easier said than done. I've come to a project called Homeboys, which for many of these gang members is a way out from life on the streets. The project gives gang members the opportunity to rehabilitate themselves, which includes a free tattoo removal service.
These people just come in, what, anybody off the street can just walk in?
Anyone off the street can come in. If your tattoos are gang related and they're like on your face, the front of your neck or your head, you know, you're obviously a walking target. So we try to get you in as soon as we can. Even if you were to stop by today, we'll try to get you in today.
I'll have to get around to it one day.
Yeah, think about it.
Today, gang member Ishmael De Santiago is in the chair. The ink is lasered out of his skin in a process which has been described as like having hot fat hitting your face.
Stay in there, bro.
It's okay. That's all right. The body can only take so much sometimes.
The laser sends short pulses of light into the top layers of the skin. The energy breaks the ink into small pieces, which are later naturally removed by the body's immune system. Tattoos are painful going on. It's even worse taking them off.
Go on, bro. What you're doing, man, is a massive thing. I really applaud you, honestly, big time. What is this? What is the gang?
London.
Is that a big organisation?
It's all right, you know.
Will they say to you, what are you doing?
They'll probably get disappointed, you know, but...
You just got to say, I'm moving on.
I'm moving on. The only time I see them is when I come to prison, but that's something I don't...
You done with prison now?
I just got out like 3 weeks ago, so...
Good for you, man. Wish you all the best, man.
Thank you.
All right, so go next door, they'll bandage you up. And then give you some
Thank you
extra
very
care.
much. Bye. Thank you next time. Thank you, doctor.
To take tats off your face is, I mean, the pain is ridiculous, you know, and I just, you know, commend them for that. And that is the loveliest thing, what I've been getting from here today, is it's the start of my new life. You know, they're starting again, so it's fantastic.
It's been an eye-opening 4 weeks for me on the road with the cops in Laredo, Baltimore, New Orleans and LA. I've seen them putting their lives on the line for the good of the people they serve. I've discovered that the criminals are often young kids with not much to lose who are caught in the drug trade. It's been an emotional ride for me, one that I couldn't deal with day to day, but one that comes naturally to America's toughest cops.